Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day. Cheers, sir.
Dude,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too.
And very nice to officially meet you.
Yeah, it's cool.
I follow you on the Instagram. Watch your
Oh,
posts
yeah?
all the time.
Okay, good.
See what
Yeah,
a
I follow
big silly
you, too.
goose. You're having a good time?
Yes. I've been doing these little, what do you call it? You kind of reenact a scene from movies, and it's been really fun. And it's hard because you have to like know the scene really well. So I've done like the planes, trains, and all. You know, my fucking car, my fucking. So it's been fun. It's my new little gig. But yeah, I try to keep it fun. Instagram.
No, you definitely do. And you've done a lot of radio because you have one ear on, one ear off. That's, Jim Norton
that or
always
I'm
does
just
that.
retarded. No, I do this in Jim Norton does that too?
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
I don't
done
know.
A lot
I
of radio.
yeah, I've done a lot. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I like
they
to
want
really
like
hear.
a little
a little bit of
ambient
a
noise.
little exactly.
I don't understand
I
that,
look at
but-
first looking at me like, put your headset on right.
Yeah, we've been doing comedy for so fucking long and that we've never met. It's kind of funny.
That is bizarre. I mean, you've been doing it
30 plus years.
Yeah, same. I started in 1985.
Yeah, I started in 88, so I had to reach out.
All right, it got by 3.
Dude,
I'm the veteran here. Fuck.
You're a funny guy, man, and you at least used to take a lot of shit. And I never understood it.
I don't either. I never have understood that. But it's mellowed out a little bit. It's kind of like, you've done it so long. You're kind of like, okay, you can go to the barbecue now. You're part of the club. But for years and years, I mean, from the very, very beginning, which is kind of funny, you being a comic, but I started in Florida. One thing everybody worried about was thievery. You don't want to steal. I stole his act. So I thought, not only did I do my thing just because I wanted to do props, but I thought, wow, no one's going to hate me because I'm not doing anyone's. I mean, I'm stealing Crime Watch signs and shit,
right.
and lugging them around the country. So if anything, they would say, okay, he's not funny, or at least he's original, but he's not funny. But they would say, oh no, he's, everything. I would get shit for, like I was the shit. I was just filling the punchline.
You were a whipping boy.
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like Nickelback. For whatever Nickelback takes so much shit. It's like someone decides that that's a good punchline. Whether it's Carrot Top
and I've seen
or
Nickelback, and they put on a pretty amazing show.
They've got some good songs, man.
And they do.
They're pop songs, yeah, but so fucking what? It's like they're not hurting anybody.
It was, so let's say I would do a show, and we have a nice crowd. It was great, standing ovation. We get on the bus, and we're driving to wherever next gig, and we're all watching, the TV, and then boom, there's a Carrot Top rip, and I'd be like, what the fuck? We just did a great show. We had a whole bunch of people laughing.
Yeah.
So this one guy is telling me, that I said, whatever, I've always been a guy that's considered the source. I mean, I was always picked on as a kid, but when I'd come home, my mom would, what happened? I picked on me. Who was it? And it was this guy. Well, consider the source, right? So
Yeah.
it's always been that with comedy too. Like when, George Carlin said I was funny, that just negated every asshole that said I sucked. I was like, George Carlin thought I was funny. So that
you
I
are
always think,
funny,
you know
man.
what I mean? So
you
kind
have a good show.
Well, you kind of want. I think most humans want everyone to love them, right? I mean, so but as comics, we're even more sensitive. I want not only to have fans, but I want my peers to like me as well. So it's weird. And then people say, well, who gives a shit if you have fans that love you? Who cares about your peers? I'm like, well, you kind of want other comics to go, hey man, I dig your style,
No, for sure. That's the thing. If you're rejected by your peers, even if the rest of the world loves you, but comics hate you,
right?
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's been like I said. I've done it so long. I guess they're finally like, fuck it, he can stay. I guess.
Well, I think first of all, you own the genre now. There used to be, like when I started in '88, there used to be prop comics.
Yeah.
You became so successful as a prop comic that you own the genre. Like, there's no prop comics anymore, man.
I know. I don't think anyone wants to be one. That's what I think. They're like, fuck that. I'm not going down that path. I'm going to take over all the abuse that I took. I'd tell them, don't do it. But when we had, though, like you said, though, Rip Taylor or Gallagher. And by the way, Gallagher was very much of an influence on me when I started doing comedy, and I would get I should just say so one day Gallagher meets me for lunch, and I hope Gallagher's listening. So he he's up my, I mean, he's yelling at me and screaming at me in front of everybody, in front of the valet, and he says I stole his act, and I was like,
What?
Gallagher, yeah.
He meets you for lunch to yell at you?
Yeah, well, I think we've made up since. I think he came to the show and told me how to redo it, but I know he did. He's out there.
I've heard him on
He said,
Stern.
get rid
Dude.
of that.
He sounds fucking
Get rid of
crazy.
that, and stop doing props. So, yeah. So, but the thing that I thought was kind of funny, because in my defense of Gallagher, I used to always say, it's not the watermelon. He's a really brilliant comic. I mean, you go back and listen to his writing.
Yeah.
It was great, but all people knew was him jumping on a big couch and hitting a watermelon. But I would always say, no, that guy's a genius. And so then he meets me and he tells me, you know what, you stole my act, and you stole the stupid stuff. And I said, well, first I didn't steal anything. He says, hey, the stupid stuff. Why didn't you steal the smart stuff, the words, the stuff that's actually clever? Why would you steal? I said, but I didn't steal. It's my stupid stuff.
What was he saying you stole?
My whole act. He said, just that may be the genre, I guess, because if you break down Gallagher prop stuff, it was always a pun. It was a shoehorn. It was like Rip Taylor, kind of like hey, it's a butterfly. It's butter with wings. And mine was like, no, it's a Crime Watch sign. It was more of an invention. Prop.
So he thought that by you holding up two things and saying it's a this and a that, and
I never did that. That's what was funny. My style of prop comedy is kind of an interesting. It's like an inventive. If you go back and find any prop, there's always a twist to it.
Yeah.
So it's not just me holding up it's not a play word. Like the WID, it's like, hey, I got my tubes tied, and it's just tubes all together. So Morin's like trying to think of what I would have, like, I don't know, like a microphone for Mick Jagger that has an oxygen thing in it. So, so it's something that's more into anyway. It's just a different. Same with
I get it.
When I did,
it's jokey, but it's also
and when I did the Family Guy, they said they called. They said, we got the thing all ready, and they sent me the script, and I was like. So the joke is, it's a seesaw, right? So I'm like, so its prop is a saw with glasses on it, right? And that's kind of not what I do, right? And so I was like, oh man, this is, I don't like this. If we change it to something that I do. And the guy, McFarlane says, dude, no, it's fucking great. And I said, I know, but it's seesaw, it's really stupid. And he says, I wrote it. I said, no, it's not that stupid then. I said, no, I just want to do, like, can I do one of my props? He said, well, two things wrong. We already have the animation done.
Right.
And secondly, everyone loves it. And if you want to do it, we'll just get someone else to do the voice. It's fine. I said, no, I want to do it. If we can't, fuck it. So I did it, and I still to this day get people go, dude, seesaw. So they were right, and I just was like, damn it, I want it to be a little more whatever.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, also you've got to be a little defensive after all the years of people shitting on you.
Yeah. True.
What is it like having a Vegas residency? Because I've always thought about that. Like, there's people that I think did it where maybe they probably shouldn't have done it, and then there's people like you that you seem to be having a good time doing it, and then you still do occasional shows in other spots.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I was telling you guys out front there a bit ago that in the beginning I was very reluctant because I was a road guy, and so I would do, the road and live on a tour bus and that, and then they offered the gig, and I was like, so I started doing like just a couple weeks, which now they call residencies. Residencies when you live there. It's resident, right? But now you have a weekend. Now they're doing a residency, so. So I said, I'll do 2 weeks at a time, and it was kind of rough. I wasn't. The Vegas is a different beast. I just wasn't ready for people sitting in, like booths and eating, like dinner show eating and kind of getting slouched. And I was like, I'm used to people like,
psyched for the show.
Right.
Yeah, they're coming out to
like
see
George
you.
Carlin would tell me, he says, you couldn't get into, so fuck it, I'm going to go see Carlin kind of thing. So as I've gotten more fans, I think I'm getting more of my audience. But back then, there was just people that were, going by a buffet, going, hey, get a Carrot Top ticket and whatever, check it out.
How long have you been doing it now in Vegas?
This is 16 at the Luxor, and then 10 at the MGM. So
26 years?
And then at Bally's 1 year, So 27 years.
So you've been in Vegas.
Penn and Teller and I have been going back and forth on who's been the longest. And I said, well, I do all the work. You have fucking Teller, right? So I I win by default.
Well, you know,
And Teller doesn't do shit. He just stands there.
Penn and Teller, they're very unique people.
Absolutely, very, very unique.
And, you know,
yes.
Penn is he's a super interesting guy, and you really wouldn't think that he would fit in Vegas. Like
Penn?
Yeah.
He
Like,
barely fits. He's 6'9".
he's a giant dude, yeah. But he seems like he belongs somewhere else.
Yeah.
But so 26 fucking years doing a residency, that's a long ass time, man.
It is a long time.
Have you always done some road work while you're doing that?
Yeah.
What's
we just did it last 2 weeks ago. We did a whole bunch of Kansas City and Detroit and Chicago and Minneapolis.
What do you like doing? Do you like doing
I
like
think both.
weekends?
I like both.
the
I like the
road?
Vegas show. It's you know, it's kind of you're there every night. You get to go home. But the road shows you kind of feel like a rock. You know, I took my opener with me this day. He's like, dude, this is, you know, it's like you feel like, you know,
You're
in
the
show
road.
business. You're in, you know,
Yeah.
Vegas. Sometimes you forget, oh yeah, I'm in show business there, but you're on the road, right? And you got people up by the bus, and there's things, and there's energy, and there's, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vegas residency has got to be good for your health, though, because you're not fucking.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you just
flying
yeah,
all the time
exactly. So it is not. There's a lot of ups and for it too, and it seems to be easier to kind of throw in new jokes every night because you're not, you know, I can come in and rehearse and just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
So-
have you had like most comics? They'll go places and work out. Like you'll go to like a small club and fuck around.
I haven't done that. I haven't done that, honestly. And people always say, you ever... I said, no, I work out every night at the fucking Luxor, so why would I fly to L.A. and try shit out at the Improv? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Well, how many
and
nights
then
a
I
week
got
are
to
you
lug it
working?
there, so, you know...
Yeah,
like
that's
I
the difference with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what was funny, looking back all these years. How the hell I drug all that shit everywhere.
How much shit do you have?
Oh, a lot.
Like
It used to be when we did the road shows, it was a whole semi.
A whole semi?
Yeah, because we had ramps and rises and pyro, and it was like, it was a big show, and people would say like, and then the people that would come there to unload the truck to set up the show for that day, let's say we're here in Austin, they'd be like, all this shit for fucking, for one guy? And I said, it takes a lot of shit to make me funny. I need all this shit, trust me. I need my props and my trunks and my lights and my snow machines. And
Yeah, no, I get it.
I did that way back. The very first club I did, they were like livid with me because I had like, and I had to do it all by myself back then. My dad was a scientist, so he made this like foot pedal, and I could hit first button, did a strobe light, and the second one was a snow machine, and the third one was something, and a sound effect or something. And a club owner came up between two shows. He says, was there a fucking snow machine in the middle of the show? I was like, yeah. Why? I said, didn't you see the show? It made sense. I ate a peppermint patty. And I said, what was it like? And you hit and snow came to his, whatever the joke was. But
And the club owner got mad.
I didn't get mad. He was just like, I've never seen someone in a leaf blower, because I did it like a hurricane bit.
Yeah.
That turned into a Michael Jackson bit, and he would say, I'd never seen someone bring a leaf blower in to do.
Well, now
a
you
show. And
have.
I said, now you have.
Yeah, now you have.
And then he said, I love that.
Well, that's good. So, like, when you go on the road now, do you bring a semi as well?
We've light. It's still a big truck, but it's not a full on. But yeah, because we took a lot of this stuff. It was just too much. It was literally like setting up Aerosmith.
And when you're in Vegas at the Luxor, is everything set up for you, so you can just it's kind of plug and play?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. How many nights a week are you there?
6.
6 nights.
6
Wow.
nights. Yeah, it's not bad though. And I do like 6 nights a week. I take a day off on Sunday, and then I do like on average 3 or 4 weeks, and then I go to Florida. That's where
So
I
you
live.
do like a few weeks on, and do you
usually
partially live in Florida?
Yeah, I have a house in Orlando, so I kind of go back and forth.
What makes you go to Orlando? Why'd you pick that?
There's just a house there that my key fits into, so I go.
Oh,
I'm gonna go here again.
but why Florida?
That's where I was born and raised. So
okay.
I found a house there, and I just kept it. Believe it or not, most of my family lives now in Vegas, but my father lived in Florida. He worked at NASA, at the Space Center.
A lot of fucking people moved to Vegas this year. I have quite a few friends that moved there that either, they were either thinking about Arizona, Texas, Nashville, or Vegas.
Yeah, those are the big. Nashville's another one, and even Austin, right? It's growing like crazy.
Yeah,
Austin.
it's just bananas right
my
now.
niece goes here. She's
Yeah,
University of Texas.
I have like 10 of my friends moved here. It's better. California is just too fucked right now, and so it was one of those things where.
I lived there for a bit near Malibu, and I was not. Once I got the Vegas thing, I just kind of got out of that.
Well, I loved it before the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
Because the Comedy Store was there,
Yeah,
all
sure.
my friends were
Yeah.
there, but when we realized that the government can stop you from working, that and not just for 2 weeks, but for
for a
fucking
year.
almost 2 years.
Yeah.
It was so long before they allowed indoor shows again. I was like, these people are out of their fucking minds. Like, you got to let people make their own choices. Also, this is a respiratory virus. You're not stopping shit, as you can see.
Yeah. Yep, it's very true. We was talking to the girl out there about when we first got back. We were very first show back in Vegas, and it was one of those things where it was we want you back. And I said, well, who else is coming back? And they said, nobody, just you. And I said, what?
You were the first show back?
First one, but I think it's because I was the only guy on stage. So other shows with all the dancers and things,
Right.
and even with other people. So I was the only one. Penn and Teller didn't want to do it, and Chris Angel didn't want to do it. No one wanted to go back, and I was dying to go back. I was a year of sitting in. I mean, it's nice sitting in my boat in Florida, but at the same time, you're like, I'm losing my sense of purpose. Like, what the fuck? I gotta perform again.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I went back, and then but the weird part, they put us in this 2,200 seat theater. It was the old Chris Angel Theater when he played there, and it was only 100 people allowed. So you had
2,200 theater and 100 people?
and distanced.
Yeah.
And a 40-foot moat.
What?
Yeah.
40 feet between you and them?
Swear to God, right? And I used
so
to used to
far.
make a joke. I say, in fact, Gallagher would be do horrible in here. They wouldn't hit anybody, But
40 feet is
literally,
so far.
oh no, and then I know, and then it was really weird. I got to be honest, and my guys would be at the end and say, it really wasn't that bad considering in their masks, so you can't. It's muffled. It was,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. I don't know. It was better than just not doing a show.
Yeah.
But there were nights you're like, wow, this is not. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then it's slowly bigger and bigger. Now we're back on our original theater, but.
Well, I did one show in July of 2020. I did one weekend at the Houston Improv. They're still allowing people to do shows. And this was obviously pre-vaccines, pre-everything. And, it was still a little sketchy. And I did the show, and then we had a great time. And I thought, God damn it, I'm going to go on the road again. And then I got really high. And then I thought, what if I get COVID and I give it to someone and they die?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought, what if? And I said, okay. I can't do this. And so it was just too weird back then. There was no real treatment for it. No one knew what was going on.
It was a little scary. Yeah, people didn't have any idea what was happening. People were just dying, and it was like, yeah.
So I took a long time off, and then I came back when Chappelle wanted to do a bunch of shows in Austin. And he said, we're going to do them outside. We're going to test everybody. We'll create a COVID bubble. Nobody goes outside the bubble. And by then, I was already testing people for every single show here.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I feel safe doing that because all I'm doing right now is going home and then going to work. And when I go to work, everyone's getting tested. So I felt pretty safe and confident. And then I would go to the shows and we would test hundreds and hundreds of people. And they would all sit outside and they all had to wear a mask. And then we had our little COVID bubble.
Yeah.
And so we started doing that again. That was I guess we started doing it in November of 2020.
Yeah, I remember seeing on your Instagram that you guys were going to do that. And I remember people asking me, hey, you want to do some drive-in theaters?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So
that was Bert Kreischer's idea.
I know, but what's your thought on this? So you're on stage.
Well, Bert
you're on stage and the people are sitting in their cars, so you can't hear them.
Yeah, but they honk and stuff. Well, see, it's perfect
oh, really?
for
So
Bert.
you get honk. I did get a prop killed honk.
Yeah.
And then really killed honk.
Yeah, like they laugh and you hear
what if
them
you don't hear
honk?
any horns? You're like, fuck, I'm bombing.
Yeah, you're bombing.
Yeah.
There's no horns.
See, I'm terrified of that.
It's not ideal, but it's better than anything.
Right.
Than nothing, rather.
Right, sure.
And Bert invented it, so it was his idea. And so for him, it was like a chance to be on the road again.
I guess it would be seems more for music.
Yeah.
Than comedy. I can't, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it makes sense. But even music, you want to see people dancing around, rocking out. You don't
see the car,
if the car comes rocking, don't come knocking.
Fucking having a good time in that car.
Yeah, if it's a van.
Dave and I, we did shows together back in, we were doing colleges.
In the NACA days?
Yeah, NACA days.
Oh, wow.
And this is every time I see Dave, he always says the same thing. He says, man, so I'll tell you what happened. So we played it was like Kansas or Iowa, some Midwest town. And we did the show, and then afterwards, we're young then. He says, well, let's go get a drink. So we go get a drink, and we have all these college kids, and finally we were like, we're chill, well, let's just go back to the hotel. It was like a little La Quinta, which is Spanish behind Denny's, by the way. So we go to La Quinta, and just before we had cell phones, I said, hey, let's exchange numbers. And he says, yeah, man, let's do that. So he leans over the counter and grabs a pen out and writes his number down. And this guy comes out and says, did you just take money out of the cash register? And we're like, what? And he's like, did you just steal money out of the cash register? And we're like, looked at each other. I'm like, no, Dave's like, I just grabbed a pen to exchange the numbers, man. Take it easy. I said, we're the comedians that, playing in town. He's like, I'm calling the cops.
Oh,
and I said to Dave,
Christ.
no, Dave says, call the cops. And I said, is that camera work? And he says, what? The one right there? And he says, yep. I said, well, we're going to find out then. I said, make sure that you got the footage of that because we grabbed a pen. We didn't grab cash out of the register. And sure enough, he's like, you boys better get on. We're like, we just wanted to exchange numbers. Weird, right? I thought we took money out of the register. Yeah.
Well, some people live in a world of shit, and you just dipped your toes into their world.
Yeah, we're like, well, we didn't take money, dude. We should have.
That's pretty sad.
we were broke comics. We should have actually taken money out of the register.
Yeah, those college gigs were always weird, man.
Yeah.
You travel to these strange universities that would have comics come and...
Yep. I used to do all that for years. I did I did the morning, like in a cafeteria. Literally.
Yeah, I did those.
Right.
Standing on a cafeteria table.
Yes, literally. And then there was only one time in my entire career, and I mean full on career, that I refused to go on. And it was a NACA gig, and they had a thing in a breezeway, right? Like literally like a box. And so my trunk didn't even fit on the box. It wasn't even a stage, right? So
like the size of this table?
Smaller than this. So yeah, it was like a crate. And so I said, and my guy that helped me set up back then said, he'd come, get in the car. He's like, you're not going to like this one, I said, well, how bad is it? He said, dude, it's in a fucking breezeway. And I was like, what? It's in a breezeway. And I was like, I don't what do you mean breezeway? And he's like, it's like a box, like a milk carton thing, and there's a microphone thing, and then and this is when I used to have had to have a harness I made that would hold my big mic like this. So I'm gonna stand there in the middle of a fucking breezeway while kids are going to class. No, seriously. And I'm like, I ain't doing it, right? So I said, fuck that. No. So we got in the van and drove to the next gig, which is, probably 6 hours away, and it was in a big theater. It's weird that you do one in the cafeteria, and then an hour later you're in a big theater. So my phone's blowing up. I call my office, and they're like, you can't just cancel a show. And I said, you didn't? Yeah, I can. I'm not going to do it, right? Well, where are you? Got to go. I said, we're 2 hours out. We're not going. So turns out that college, that gig, and that breezeway, that guy was the president of NACA that booked me for that. The president of NACA.
Well, he's an asshole.
He is an asshole, but I'm saying, oh shit, of all people that I did that to, it was the president
guy
of
shouldn't be the president.
NACA.
If he's the guy that's making those kind of decisions, that's disrespectful to the performers.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, great, now I'm going to get blacklisted on the NACA conventions.
Did you?
No, because I think I think I was kind of done with the colleges. No, it was a year early on. I didn't get blacklisted. No. I went on and I kept getting books. But
I know a lot of comics that refuse to do colleges now.
Well, now I wouldn't.
Yeah, they're just too ridiculous.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would do a college now. And I lived on those for so many. And it's not against the person about the colleges. It's just, I think, like you just said, it's probably I don't know. The audiences that, half my act you can't do. Like, I go back and look at stuff that I did on The Tonight Show, Regis and Kathy Lee. I still do it in my show because fuck it. I just do what I do. I don't.
Right.
I just, and people and I go, there's worse shit coming. Take it easy. But I would have like a mouse trap to catch gay mice. It was a little mouse trap with a mirror ball on it, and it would spin. It'd fuck them kill, right? And even Gary Shandling, I do this Tonight Show, and Gary Shandling is watching me, and he came over and said, that was great, the fucking gay mousetrap thing, right? And so you look at it now, but that was on network television, like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I could do that. I had a plate for bulimics. It was a toilet seat with a plate built into it so you could eat and throw up. It was all this shit, but you think about it now, they'd be like, oh, God, you can't do that. What are you, crazy?
Well, you can.
You can.
You just have to take some heat. But the thing is about colleges, it's like they will instantaneously become activists and try to shut you down.
Yeah. That's
what I mean.
That's what I mean. It's kind of and my show's so silly. That's what.
Yeah, that's
it's
a
silly show.
Gay Mousetrap is a funny thing.
Funny.
Why is that even negative? It's not negative.
But you know what I mean, though, because someone's going to say, "Oh no, you're picking on the." No, I'm not picking on anybody.
Of course you're not.
Right.
Of course you're not. It's just the fact that if you joke around about a subject, then it becomes hateful now. Like we've entered into this new area where even touching on a subject, you become like you're hateful.
Right.
Just joking around about something, you're hateful.
Yeah. It's unreal.
It's stupid.
Well, even like with Dave, Dave, when all that went down, this probably more than I know, but they didn't show a lot of the people that were pro for him. They
here's
kept
the
showing
thing.
the people that are against it.
Here's the thing they didn't do with Dave. They didn't quote any of the material. If you notice it, they kept saying it's transphobic, but it's one of the very rare times where someone's being accused of something, but there's not a specific thing that they point to where they say that this is egregious, this is transphobic.
Right.
It's not transphobic.
Right.
It's essentially like it's a long love letter to a friend of his that killed herself. I mean, that's really what that part of it is, and he's saying that a lot of it is because this woman who he was friends with got dragged online and attacked in DMs and stuff by other people that were in the trans community that said that she shouldn't stand up for Dave Chappelle, and she wound up killing herself. This was it's not a transphobic bit. It's not. It's like him trying to if you're going to give it any criticism at all, I think you could say that he talks about trans people a lot. I mean, it's been a major subject matter for him for the last couple specials.
Yeah, I remember the last couple specials he's talked about that.
But I think that's because, look, he's the most beloved comedian of our time. He's one of the greatest comedians of all time, if not the greatest. And if you look at his career, this is like really the first time he's ever been attacked about things. And so this is his response to it. It's unusual for him, so I think he just wants to get his point across as clearly as possible, and then he'll move on to other subject matter. So he's devoted a lot of time to it. But when they say it's transphobic, they're not being accurate. They're just looking at if he's covering the subject matter at all and he's doing it with humor, all of a sudden you can label it transphobic.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's not right.
Well,
it's not accurate.
Well, it's definitely not right, and it's not fair, and it's like you said. It's weird being such a beloved guy for so long, and then you find all these people that want to come out and not love him.
I think a lot of it is just
he's brilliant.
It's attention,
Would you imagine if George Carlin had how many specials he used to do? He one every fucking week. He'd have another hour special, which was always amazing to me. So talk about a guy that can write jokes.
No, he's
one of the greatest writers specials ever. My God, right? So imagine him right now. Like, I would love to see a George Carlin special now. Wouldn't that be great?
Like,
what would he talk about? I know, but I'm saying because he wouldn't give a shit. He would open his show with like the most disgusting thing and just
lean into it.
Oh, dude, and people would walk, like 30 people in a second would walk out.
Did you see the Patton Oswalt thing that happened yesterday?
No, I love Patton Oswalt.
I love Patton too.
Oh, what happened?
He's like, Patton's a very kind, very sensitive guy. And Patton apparently was in town with Dave. And Dave texted him, like, hey, do you want to come do a set at my show? And Patton went to Dave's show. Dave was doing an arena, and Patton was doing another show in town. So Patton came to Dave's show, and they had a good time together. And Patton took a couple of pictures with him and Dave and put it up on Instagram. And then apparently a bunch of people were saying, how could you hang out with that transphobe, that this and that, blah, blah, blah. And so the next post, he makes this long apology. He writes like a fucking essay on how he feels about trans people.
Oh, there he is.
And, the real fuck up. Listen, again, I love Patton. I love him to death. He's a really, really sweet guy, which is why he did this in the first place. But one of the things that he said is he disagrees, 100% disagree about transgender rights and representation. with Dave. That's not true. I think he said that to placate the mob, but Dave does not have any problem whatsoever with transgender rights and representation. It's not right. He's just saying that because they were attacking him, saying that Dave is transphobic. He's not.
Right.
He's not. I mean, I know him very well. He's a fucking fantastic person. He's not. That's not him. He's just making jokes about stuff. And it's like, you can't read all those goddamn comments. Most of the comments are super, super positive. Most of them. But if you have 1,000 people that are commenting on something, you're going to have 10 that are just angry, negative, shitty people. And those are the ones,
my audience,
person,
basically. Thank you.
Well, all of
my
our
crowd.
audience. If you're a sensitive person, those are the ones that are going to stand out.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, oh my God, what have I done? So he started deleting posts. And then apparently there was a bunch of shit posters and TERFs and all kinds of other stuff. TERF's a great name. It is. You want some real whiskey?
What do you mean real whiskey? Was that Trace?
Buffalo Trace.
Trace Atkins? Buffalo Trace Atkins.
That's real shit. It's America right there. That's
It is
America before it was America.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. You're definitely doing better than me. Look at his, look at mine.
Well,
That's
there's
what I
nothing
can
wrong
afford.
with
What
Crown.
I can afford.
You stole it from a hotel bar. Stop lying.
From your hotel bar.
It's not my hotel. It's
Where you
where
put
we
me
put
up.
you
That's
up.
right. Yeah, that's
well,
right.
we'll pay
I
for that.
stole it.
Feel free.
I hope so.
Take them
Fuck,
all.
come on.
But fill your pillowcase up. Yeah, hotel bars are very strange.
Yeah.
It's like they just assume you're a drunk.
Yeah.
Well,
there's some now on the road where they're weighted, which is kind of funny, right?
Oh, right. You pick it up.
Yeah,
and
and
you
it goes whoop. Once you move it,
Yeah.
it
You can't even change your mind.
Yeah,
You can't go, what is
yeah.
that?
Oh, it's Crown. Oh, I don't want.
You get charged for it already.
So now,
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me try your Buffalo Trace Atkins.
Better, right?
Very nice.
Better, right?
Burns a little bit.
A little better, right?
No, a lot better.
But better.
Oh, do you know? I can't say it's. The Crown's nice people too. But
No, there's nothing wrong with Crown.
no, this is great.
I'm
This is
just
great.
joking.
This is great.
I just love.
Well, Crown gives me free booze, so I got to be careful.
Oh, do they?
Well, they used to. Now they.
Oh, you have a
they
deal
used
with
to.
them until
They
today.
used to till now.
I fucked it up for them. I think we got a bottle of Crown.
We
over
do
there,
it.
don't
No,
we?
I'm fine. This is actually no. This is good. This is good.
Didn't someone give
I'm
us
just
a
not
bottle
allowed to
of
say
Crown?
better because they give me Crown.
Well, I'll say it.
I usually go in the audience and give out shots of Crown. Well,
Oh,
I used
really?
to before the COVID thing. So I'd go out in the audience and polish off a bottle.
How scared are you about COVID now? Like, did you travel here? Did you get nervous?
No.
No.
But I mean, I've been one of those guys from the very beginning. And God forbid I do ever get it because I don't walk in fear. I just do my thing, and I'm in front of people every day.
Well,
but I do get tested a lot.
I know you exercise a lot. You used to be giant.
I know. I know.
You used to be giant,
I was
man.
40 pounds bigger than I am.
Oh my God!
Literally.
What made you get so jacked?
I got the flu, and then I didn't know. What? You got me jacked?
Yeah.
I just. Well, I'll tell you what I did. When I got that permanent gig, I had nothing to do all day in Vegas.
So
Literally.
you just started getting pumped.
So I started just going to the gym every day. Like I'd go 3 hours a day, literally.
3 hours of lifting.
Yeah. Well, this is again 15 years ago.
Right.
And I just was huge. And one day I went to my warehouse to do something. There was a picture on something. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like 190. I'm like 140.
Wow.
This is my original fighting weight right now. I'm at 140 is my
That's when you
my
feel
fight.
lean and
Yeah,
mean.
this is where I grew up, born and raised. I was 135, 140 my whole life, and then I went to like 185. People were like, what the fuck?
Did you have a lot of joint pain all the time?
Yeah, everything. I was always injured. I was always hurt.
Yeah.
Didn't look good on stage. It was weird. It was like, people are like, what the fuck happened to Karen Tom? They've always said that.
But that is a thing, though. When you get really jacked on stage, it becomes a distraction.
It did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons, of all people, came and says, does being so muscular take away from the
That's the worst
stage?
Gene Simmons
Is it?
impression ever. All of a sudden, Gene Simmons became like an Englishman from the 80s.
Excuse me, Carrot Top is Gene.
Pardon me.
So I got Gene really good one time. Said, "This is great." So he comes back, comes to the show, comes backstage, and he says to me, "What do you do to make money besides this. And I said, what the fuck are you talking? Nothing. He said, you don't have any of the things that give you money. I said, I don't know. I do comedy 6 nights a week, but you don't have another investment of some sort, yes?
He's trying to offer you some prostitution work.
Well, no, yeah. They were real weird. And Gene, listen, I'm seeing somebody, okay? But let me try on your platforms. No, so I just let me slip into them.
I want teeth on my shoes.
But he says to me, and this is great because I'm being like really serious with him, right? So I said, no, but I did one thing a long time ago. I wrote a jingle. He goes, what's the jingle? And I said, it's by Menon. And he says, I'm not following you. I said, remember the commercial by Menon? And he goes, that was you. And I said, yeah. He says, get the fuck out. I said, no. I said, my friend had an organ in my garage. He had left there, and we were out fucking around. And that by Menon thing had a campaign that said, come up with a jingle. So we came up with it. Just it wasn't even funny. It was just by Menon, and we sent it to the Menon, whatever was it Under or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
And he says, wait a second. So you're making this up. I said, no. He said, how much did they pay you for that? I said, I still get money for it. I said, it was amazing, but it was just kind of a fluke. I said, we tried to come up with other things. And he's looking at me like, that is just remarkable. And I said, yes.
Impression of Gene Simmons is so bad.
And then I said, and see, that's great. And I said, anything else? I said, well, I came up with Retson. And he says, what are you talking about? I said, with Retson, remember the certs? And he goes, you're fucking me. I said, yes. He goes, but the Menon thing. I said, no, it's all bullshit. He lost his shit. He's like, God damn it, I sat there for 20 minutes believing you came up with by Menon and Retson. I said, no, I never. But I got him good on his show because I did when he had it at his house
the reality show he had? Yeah.
So
Family Jewels?
First met him, I go, Family Jewels, and I go, and he says, my impression, you want to see my warehouse? And I said, sure. So he takes me to this huge wing of his house. I mean, literally, it's probably the size of Walmart. It's full. And he says to me, I've got everything. Ask. I said, well, of course you have a kiss condom. I mean, he goes, oh, yeah. We have kiss coffins. We've kissed everything, you know. And I said, we're live, or they're filming me with him, and I said, get towards the end. I said, he said, well, thank you for dropping by. And I said, I don't want to. This is going to come across completely fucking wrong. I said, don't take this the wrong way. And he says, what? I said, you're going to take this the wrong way. He says, what? I said, I've never heard of your band. I said, you must have done well, but I've never heard of Kiss. And he says, it's like a really weird. He goes, you've never heard of Kiss. I said, no, I see. I knew you'd take it the wrong way. I said, I mean, look at all this. Holy fuck, I've never heard of Kiss. Are you guys? How long have you guys been a band? And he looked at me like he's gonna fucking kill me. And I said, I know Hanson. I know Hanson.
Hanson.
And he's Hanson. This is when they were hitting it big, you know. And I said, I know Hanson, right? And he goes, you fucking me. I said, no, I don't. I never heard of Kiss. And that's fine. I said, I'm fucking with you. Come on.
Jesus
and then
Christ,
I got him again. By Menon.
And he was serious? He really believed you?
Oh, yeah, no. He was like,
well, some people.
Someone had to have heard of Kiss, yes?
This fucking accent. The thing about like Hollywood people is there are people who will pretend they don't know who you are, even if they do.
Oh, right.
You know?
I had that with Nicole Kidman. You know, she didn't know.
Did she really?
Yeah.
She pretended.
I actually put it in my show. It's a clip of her going, "Who's Carrot Top?" Yeah.
Well, she's from Australia. Maybe she.
But
really
I met her
didn't
3
know.
times with her husband. So he shook. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Carrot Top. And then I went over to her, and she was like,
Do you think she did that on purpose?
I don't know, but she did it like 3 times. So I just put it. There's a clip of her on the red carpet going. Who's Carrot Top?
People do that though. It's like a clout thing. Like they knock
Al
you
Franken.
down.
Al Franken. Okay, so now Al Franken, I did comic relief with him. Right? It was like everybody was there. Rob Williams and Whoopi Goldberg. So Al Franken and I are back in the wings there, waiting to go on, and he couldn't have been nicer. He was like, "Wow, I love your act. I love, you know." And I was like, "That's cool." So I go to Gary Shandling's funeral in L.A. And again, everybody was there. I mean, you talk about, my God, everyone in show business was at Gary Shandling's funeral.
Right.
So I see Senator then, right, Al Franken. I make my way over to him. I said, hey, Al, it's been a while, and wow, you're a senator now. Fuck, I mean, from a comedian to senator or whatever I made. And he looked at me, he says, I'm sorry, we know each other? I said, it's Carrot Top. He's like, sorry? I said, Carrot Top. And he goes, I'm sorry, I don't know. I said, you don't know Carrot Top? And he goes, I don't. I said, you don't know who Carrot Top is? It was the weirdest thing, because like, I'm standing there with like the best of, I think I was standing there with, from Defending Your Life, Albert Brooks, right? And he just says that, and I look over at Albert Brooks, and he says, he's just being a cunt. I said, I think so, or maybe he just doesn't remember meeting me.
Maybe when he
says,
became
no,
a
you're
senator.
in comedy. He knows who you are. He's just being and then I said, well, you fucked with me one time. And he said,
Albert Brooks fucked with you?
yeah. On the
That's
Tonight,
an honor.
Well, it is. On the Tonight Show, right? Yeah, it is an honor.
It is, right?
No, seriously. The fact that he said Carrot Top,
Yeah.
maybe. So he was on the Tonight Show with, I think, Johnny. And he said, he used to do these spinning, when he believe it or not, used to do props.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Albert Brooks did?
Well, back in he did a skit tonight with spinning plates. And so he sits down and he starts saying, I feel, it's like I'm here. He said, I feel bad for someone like Carrot Top. If American Airlines lost his luggage, he wouldn't have an act. Everybody laughs. And I'm thinking, well, not only is that accurate, but it's just a dig at me, because it's like if the Rolling Stones luggage was lost, they wouldn't put on a show.
Right.
So it's like it's my shit.
Well, there was a thing. There
But
was
I
a
told him that,
time.
and he goes, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. And I said,
Just trying to be funny, whatever's out there, you take a swing at it. Yeah. But there's a thing that, for whatever reason, if you need something on stage, like if you're a guitar comic, there was always a thing about guitar comics. Like Mitzi Shore used to get mad at guitar comics. She'd go, you're not going to go on stage with the guitar tonight. She would tell guys.
Yeah.
And then they would go on stage with no guitar and bomb.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because, like, you get that's your comfort.
That's your
thing.
If they told me I couldn't bring my walker with a dildo on it, I wouldn't go. I would not go on.
But it's one of those things. It's
You'll
like,
see in March with your
I will.
Your kids.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
That's like, this is your act, man. Your fucking act is your act. You bring stuff like, but this purist thing of comedy is always bothered me. I don't know why. It's just like, I don't care if you sing. I don't care if you have props. I don't care. Why does that affect me?
I don't understand that whole concept, just in a broad sense of the idea of let's just say music.
Yeah.
So if you're in your car and you're listening to music, and if you hit the country station, and you're listening, and then you go, country, and then you have rock, and then you have jazz, and you have this, and you have hard rock, you have metal. There's choices there, so it's kind of fun. Like you have something. When I was out on the road, I would listen to country music for 2 hours, and now I want some Metallica. Now I want some,
mix it up.
But so same with comedy. Why can't you can have a Dennis Miller, and you can have a Joe Rogan, you can have a Carrot Top, and you can have Gallagher, you can have Bill Maher do politics, and you can have
People need to just let other people have different tastes.
Yeah, well, we do anyhow. Exactly. So people that don't want to go to a Carrot Top show don't go.
Right. You don't have to go.
You don't have to go.
Like that thing drives me crazy.
I do have to go.
But
to the Carrot Top show.
You have to 6 days a week. But there's this thing. It's like, come on, folks. There's lots of stuff to be upset about.
Yeah.
Like being upset about different tastes other than yours.
Right.
Look, my kids I love my kids, but they love music that I fucking hate.
Nice.
They want to listen to mumble rap in the car. I'm like, shut that shit off. Not all mumble rap is bad, but I mean some of the stuff. Yeah. It's not even mumble rap, I should say. It's like whatever it is. I'm an old man.
Yeah, that's why I sold my kids. I got rid of them.
You got rid of them.
Yeah, got rid of them.
How much you get?
Not much. I should have
hung out for a while. It's a market thing. It's like Bitcoin. You don't want to get out early.
Yeah.
It's a long haul thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So my Elvis shirt. I got to find you one of these.
Yeah, dude. I have.
Right?
I have an obsession with Elvis during that time period.
The drug days.
Well, it's the pill days, and one of the reasons why I have this obsession is because it's a fame thing. And I'm sure you can relate to this. Fame is a fucking strange drug in and of itself. Mm. And I believe that Elvis was the first guy to take a heroic dose of fame. Like Hicks always used to talk about, or Terrence McKenna, and then Hicks used to quote it, but heroic doses of mushrooms. There's a heroic dose of fame, like what Michael Jackson took. He took the most heroic dose of fame. But
you're right. Elvis might have been the first one.
Yes.
I mean, there were some other guys, but you're right.
Yes.
Where he really was beyond superstar.
It's not good for you.
There's a great I wouldn't say well, this is a documentary, or it might have been a 2-part thing on HBO, I think it is, or Netflix.
Do you smoke weed, Carrot Top?
I will with you.
Okay.
I have bad lungs, but I'll smoke. Great. This is when the whole podcast goes to shit.
I heard this is good for your lungs.
Is it?
Yeah, I heard it's good.
I don't have any sponsors that might get upset if I.
Crown and weed goes together great. That's what I heard.
So I haven't been high in fucking 20 years. I know.
Well, good.
I don't do drugs.
Well, let's just keep it right
but
there.
But I got to
then.
remind you to tell my Hicks story, and then also Elvis. So there's a documentary, and there's a really touching, sad scene that you just brought up to me. In the documentary, he goes on stage, and this is right in his really big bloated days.
Yeah, those are my favorite days.
And there's well, it's kind of say he's sweating and he's overweight,
still killing it.
And they're interviewing him, and they say, "Do you you don't look good or something?" No, they really honestly say this. Like the reporter says, "You look like shit," and he says, "I'm sorry," and they're like, "Yeah, you just what happened?" And you see it. You see in his face. He literally takes a moment. He says, "I'm sorry, I don't live up to what you wanted me to look like. I'm doing my best." And then he just kind of walks off like in tears.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's find that.
Yeah. It's I think it's in the Elvis. Either Netflix. It's a 2-hour or two part thing. So Bill Hicks. This is.
But before we get to Bill Hicks, it's like no one was like that before him. Like there was no kind of star of that magnitude. It didn't exist.
And literally, and like Michael Jackson took.
There was always stars, right? There was always, there was Little Richard and Chubby Checker, and there was always like Buddy Holly.
Right.
There was
but
stars.
Not at that.
No,
No,
it's a different kind of star.
Agreed.
And
I'll say that to people. They go, "Wow, you recognize that?" I said, "I'm recognizable in a lineup. I'm not like a famous person." They go, like somebody last night said, "You're red, right?" So,
you're red.
Red. I said, "Yes, red. Orange, You're the red guy. You're right. Red top? Yes, red top."
That's probably better.
Yeah.
It's sustainable. I mean, you make a good living. You have a lot of people who love you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're better off that way than
Elvis
getting into that.
definitely had a hard. I mean, and people always say, "Well, come on, how hard is it to be that famous? Fuck, who knows?"
No one understands it. There's no one who understands it other than the people that get there.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible to understand it. You could take a guess and you could say, "Oh, but he has so much money." Let me tell you something about money, kids. Once you get past a certain amount, it doesn't feel like anything different. Like, I had an apartment once when I first moved to Hollywood, and I just got on television, and I was on news radio, and I was on this sitcom, and I got this nice place, and it had a loft, and I had a pool table, and I was like, look at this apartment. I would walk in the apartment, I'd go, fuck, this is my apartment, this is crazy. And I would look around at it, I'd go, I can't believe I actually live here. And then I got accustomed to it. And then I realized one day I was like sitting on the floor and I was like, oh, this is how everything is. Like once you get used to it, then it's just a house.
Right.
Like your house, it's like all your house needs to do is be comfortable and safe, and you need to have like a nice place to go to bed, a nice place to fix your meals, and whatever else you're into. After you get past that, it's just a house.
Yeah.
And Brian Callen said this to me once, and it's like this one of the smartest things anybody ever said to me. He said, all you want as far as money, you want to have enough money so you can go to dinner and not worry about what things cost.
Yeah.
And like that's a brilliant thing to say because he's like simple in that regard. Like that's what he,
I don't have any besides my cock ring. I don't have any jewelry, no jewelry on. People always say to me too, like you look just like a homeless guy. I'm like, well, I any day could be. So why don't just be ready for it? Have the clothes for it. By the way, that's great weed.
It's not bad.
I only
right?
took one, like you saw, right?
One little hit.
Like one little. I wouldn't even know. It's like, and then
like
3 Joe Rogans here in front of me.
Bum 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 bum.
So I tell you my Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
All right. Only because this is. It started out where another, some people are ripping on me. So Bill.
The Bill Hicks bit.
Which one is it?
The one about you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say first. So Bill Hicks says they're draining lakes and putting in bleachers to see Carrot Top.
Yeah.
And which is a great, it's hilarious.
That's a great line.
It is a great line. And here I am, fucking 20 people, and they're draining lakes and putting in bleachers to see fucking Carrot Top. So I'm thinking, I'm just thinking, oh, another hater, right? So I'm playing in West Palm Beach at the Comedy Corner, which was the club. But when I started, it was like I went there to audition, and all of a sudden I'm headlining this club, and Colleen McGarr was dating Bill Hicks at the time.
Yes.
And so he was sick.
That was when he had cancer.
Yeah. And so all I said to her was, she said something about, I didn't know he was even there. I just knew she was dating him. And I said, it was like between shows, and I said, could you just pass on to Bill Hicks that, I hope he doesn't hate me. And, because she said, you did such a great show. And I said, yeah, tell Bill, if you call him later, tell him that I hope he doesn't hate me. And I just, I'm a huge fan. And the year I won Best Comedian of the Year, he was in the running. So it was like, I almost was like, the fact that I won pissed everybody off because you got Bill Hicks.
What was the award? American Comedy Awards?
Yeah, Don Marrera, Bill Hicks, me, and two others. I forget now, but I remember those two. And the what's her name from Atlanta, the tall blonde, she brings me up. She says the winner is Carrot Top, and I go up and she was kind of like whatever, Brett Butler, and so I go up and I accept it, and it was almost like I wish I hadn't won because it was like I wanted Bill Hicks to win.
Yeah.
So anyway, I set up my show for the second show, and Colleen says, come with me real quick. I want to tell you something. So she walks me in the hallway, and who's standing in front of me? Bill Hicks. And it was like maybe a couple weeks before he had passed. And he was really sick. And I remember really thin, and he had it was just weird.
And distended belly?
Yeah, and just, green, and it was just, but it's Bill Hicks, and I was like, and he says to me, I don't fucking hate you, dude. And I said, oh, God, she must have gone and told him, and he's staying at the house behind the condo where the club is. And I said, why did you, I want you to come down here and you shouldn't be getting out of bed to come say that. He says, no, I wanted to come clear the fucking, you and I, we're cool. You do, and you do fucking do it, man. You kill it. You hear me? You keep doing what you do. And he gave me a hug, and then I went and I had probably the best show I ever had because Bill Hicks gave me the blessings.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's what the world needs, man. The world needs communication.
What a sweet that was. So he didn't have to come down and say hi to me. And he was a comic, and he's like, you know what? I was just being, I was making, like you said, I was just making fun of you. I don't hate you. I was just,
Well, you know what? There's people that they don't mean harm. They just mean to get laughs, and they're saying something that's funny. And look, I have good friends that do it to me all the time. Tim Dillon mocks me fucking almost every day. I don't think that I think the problem is this happens outside, away from each other, and you don't talk about it, or you're not together.
Right.
This is the problem with society. It's like there's a comparison that can be made to what the problem we have in society. Like people are communicating with each other, on social media.
Sure.
Instead of communicating with each other, they're communicating at or about each other.
Sure. How about when you text somebody and it goes through, because we're comics and so sarcasm doesn't fly in text.
All the time.
How great is that?
No.
Or I'll say something like, I thought you'd never leave. And then he's like, dude, what? I'm like, I'm kidding. Like, it was a joke. Like, I'm just kidding with you.
I have a few groups of friends. We say horrible things to each other all the time, but
they get it.
We love each other.
Right. But as long as they get it, you send a text to someone, they don't get it, then you're like, fuck, it was a joke.
Yes, exactly. But it's, a lot is law. I mean, you have to look at things. You can have like the least charitable interpretation of something, and it's always going to cause a problem. Right. But I think part of the problem is that people don't spend enough time one-on-one talking. Even that back in the day before social media, that was always an issue if you heard someone said something about you. Someone said to someone else, and then someone else comes to you, hey, man, fucking Bob was talking some shit about you. And then you go to Bob, and Bob's like, that's not what I meant. It's like, I was fucking upset because my girlfriend broke up with me or my car broke down or whatever. It's like communication one-on-one is the only way that human beings are really supposed to be talking to each other. And all that other stuff is just a mess. And all this interpretation of and then what I do is talk shit on podcasts for hours and hours at a time. I forget what I'm saying, and then someone will say something. 10 years ago, you said this. I go, that's not really what I said. Like, you got to listen to the whole thing.
Right, you take it out of context.
Yeah, I don't hate you, or I'm not mad at you, or this. Come on, man, we're friends.
You said that about Florida. You said they should build a wall around it.
Yes. So they should saw it off and sell it to the Russians. I love Florida. I love Florida because it's wild.
Like that
my
better.
fucking
saw
sister
it off
lives
and
there.
Sell it to the Russians.
my sister lives there.
Yeah.
I love Florida. Florida's a wild ass place.
It is fun.
And I love how Florida responded to the pandemic. A lot of people think it's irresponsible, but I don't.
But it's not, though. And if you look at the numbers in Florida, they're the lowest.
Well, not anymore.
No, anymore.
Not right now.
I mean, an hour ago.
Well, here's the thing.
Wait.
I saw a lot of these politicians that were shitting on Florida because of the number of cases that Florida had. And what they didn't realize is that New York City has tens of thousands more than Florida.
Right.
Or New York. So, which is mostly New York City. But it's not... there's nothing wrong with Florida, but there is something wrong with wanting everyone to behave and think the way you do.
Right.
And if Florida... What they did, if you look at it in terms of like the economic cost, if you look at it in terms of loss of life, and if you look at it in terms of cases, you can make a really good argument that they did the right thing.
As Gene Simmons would say, it was a pretty good run there, kid.
Pretty good run. Now you got a new impression.
That's not even the one I did earlier. It's a completely
pretty good run.
Huge.
I think Gene Simmons talks like this.
That's more, yes.
If I wanted to tell you how Gene talks,
there
it's
you
more
go.
like
That
this.
is definitely more. What is mine? Mine is
Yours
like
is terrible. It's terrible.
It's like I was trying
I
to
didn't want to shit on you by doing
I was trying to do a
mine.
Ringo Starr impression, and the guy's like, "What the hell?"
I did a New Year's show once at the Improv, and Gene Simmons and his whole family came to see, and I was fucking legitimately starstruck. I was like, oh, shit. There's only been a couple of times in my life where I've been like full-on starstruck.
Yeah, that one.
Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, full-on starstruck. Because I was a giant Ghetto Boys fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
If I'll ever meet Ice-T, I'll be full-on starstruck. Ice Cube.
Ice-T lives, I think, lives in Vegas. Does
he?
Yeah,
well, he's doing
I
that
think
show.
So.
I think he probably has a place
He
there.
did, because I would go to like Vaughn's and they say, "Hey, you just missed Ice-T," and I'm like, "Oh crap."
Well, Ice-T can live wherever the fuck he wants.
Flav lives in Vegas. Of
He's
course.
been on that Dick Wolf show for like 100 years.
Yeah.
He's probably got a fucking $1 billion in the bank. Like Ice-T's been on Law and Order for, I want to say 25 years.
Yeah, at least.
You know, and that's like syndication money.
Yeah.
Because
so
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
And it's
I never had a syndicate. I need a syndication money.
Those are those shows that air around the world too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
They make a lot of money. I had Queen came to the show. That was pretty.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, that's the only full-on starstruck where like weird.
The full band?
Not Freddie.
It was after Freddie died?
It was.
When did Freddie die? I want to say he died in
94?
It was the 90s? Were you...
Am I right? 94? I should know that. I'm a huge Queen fan.
Yeah.
But, so...
91.
91.
Yeah.
I was 94, sorry, 91.
You want to talk about a rare talent.
Oh,
That
no, there's
motherfucker.
no one like... There's no front man. I don't think that if you go back and watch those things, holy shit.
Well, he was
he
just
was so
different than
fucking,
all of them.
And he was, but not only just... But forget the just he was so good, and he would just work that crowd like. I mean, I think about that almost every night when I go on stage. You got to give it every fucking cent of your. You leave exhausted. But Queen came, and so it was like it was weird. They're like Queen's. Roger Taylor was coming to the show first time. It was Roger Taylor, and I said, Roger Taylor. So Roger Taylor, I know is like the drummer from Queen, and he's fucking not coming to my show. And they said, yeah. He's coming to your show.
Oh,
he
no.
came back. Well, it was funny. They told me after, so I didn't know he was out there. So after they said Roger Taylor wants to come back and say hi. So anyway, he comes back and he's like, he was just hoping my Roger Taylor impression is better than my but he's like,
Just did Gene Simmons this
Scott,
time.
that was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, just what the so. You know, so nice. He says something to me like, take a picture of my crew and me and all that. And I said, I'm actually going to go to London with my girlfriend. This is like years ago. And he said, oh, you must stay at the house, yeah? And I'm like, you know how people do. Of course, you're not going to do that.
Right.
So then also, here's my number, Scott, give me a call. So I literally were going to London. So I just said, hey, listen, we'll meet for a drink. He said, no, I insist you must stay at the house. I said, no, we're not going to stay at the house. We're going to get a hotel. But we'd like to meet you for a drink at least. So we go to Stonehenge, and my girlfriend is like on her deathbed. I mean, literally just like, I don't know if she was just that sick or didn't want to look at rocks. And she's like, I'm with her. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel so good either. It's fucking Stonehenge. That doesn't make any sense to me. So we said, we go to Rogers now. So I call him and I said, hey, you know, he's, oh, you're like 30 minutes. We're in Surrey, yeah? So my girlfriend's looking at me like, we're not going to one of your stupid friend's house. I have to go back to go to sleep. I'm dying. And so I said, we have to go. It's Roger fucking Taylor, right? So this whole thing, she has no clue in her brain. She has no clue. Like, doesn't grasp.
Isn't it funny that back then, too, if you were sick, you would go visit people still?
Right.
And no one would freak out?
Right. True. We brought in all this illness. It was just, it's fine. I had her just stay in the car. Just stay in the fucking car. I'm going to go. So we get there, and you're right. So we don't feel, you're right. That's really weird.
It's crazy.
So we get there, and it's not only it's a castle, it's like Downton Abbey. It's fucking crazy, right? So my girlfriend's looking at me like, who is it's fucking Queen. It's like Stone's Queen. Well, she knew Queen was, but she didn't grasp it's Queen. It's like we will, you know.
Right.
But it's everything. It's like they're billionaires. And she doesn't understand this. And this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful countryside house, and like I said, castle. So anyway, they give her tea. Here's where it gets good. So she looks at me like, we really have to go. And it was just unbelievable. We're in his house, and then Roger says, Scott, you want to see my studio? And I just know, look over to her, she's going to be like, fucking kill you, right? And I say, we got to go to see the studio.
Yes.
So they take us upstairs, and we walk by all this, Queen records, gold shit records, the whole fucking house, just records of records. And I said, oh, wow, Killers Live, that was my favorite album. Go up in the studio. Every drum set, it was just, I'm not making this up. It had and set up, like that was from that album. That was from Live Aid. This was, and I'm like losing my shit, right? And my girlfriend says, wow, you really like drums. On my life, God strike me dead. If she was sitting right here, she goes, I didn't know. And I literally was like losing my shit, right? So I looked back, and Roger's like, I'm sorry, what? I said, she likes your drums. Because he's deaf from playing drums all these years, thank God. Since then, I've told him, by the way, she said, she likes you must like drums. But it was one of the, and so anyway, they meet us at the hotel bar that night. And what does he bring for a guest? It was there for my birthday. What do you think he brings me to the bar?
Drumsticks?
No, that fucking Killer's Queen gold album.
No.
Off the wall. How cool is he?
No way.
And I went, oh no, Roger, I can't accept this. And he says, well, yes, fuck, you must. I go, no, I can't. And I said, I only have 100 more of these, right? And he's like, no, I'm not taking this one. It was like presented to Roger Taylor. So I took it.
Wow.
I had to take it.
Wow.
But yeah, that was maybe the coolest. And since then, they've come like Brian May and them have come too. They've all come through, and they can't be nicer and sweeter and bigger fans. Like Brian May is just like, because it's weird coming from like someone they're beyond, fucking magical rock stars.
Yeah.
They think what we do is like like how the fuck do you tell a joke? Like they don't get it, so it's cool.
Well, it's for regular people. It's like everything else, though, right? I can kind of imagine what it would be like playing drums in front of a large audience if I started playing drums and then started playing drums in a local band, started doing gigs, and then eventually moved up. And
Same.
It's like everything.
Yeah, like everything.
Incremental.
Be a lawyer, being a rocket scientist, being strapped in the shuttle.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Well, they rehearsed. They rehearsed. They practiced.
Well, that's why it's fascinating to watch people do something that you don't do at all. That's one of the reasons why I love music. I love watching musicians because I don't know how I can't play anything.
Same.
Yeah, so it's fascinating.
I like when I used to go to the launches and I'd see these astronauts and they take you into because my dad worked there. They take you into the cockpit and shit.
Yeah.
And you sit in these and you're like, there's 5,000 switches and you're like, do they know? And they go, yeah, they know where every switch does. I'm like,
yeah.
That's not that one. Yeah.
But it's like everything in life, right? Especially when you take it to the furthest extreme. Yeah. It's like there's levels and levels to everything. It's one of the things that's most fascinating about being a person is like you can pick a path. And get into whatever it is
that you really love too. I always tell young kids, pick something you want. I hate when people come and say, I want to be famous. Like, what does that mean? Be famous. You want to do something that you enjoy. Right? Your passion, your money will follow.
Maybe.
True. Yeah, true.
I don't know what it is.
But it's not. Forget that. Forget money thing. That's funny. Maybe. No, but I mean,
you might starve to death.
Yes, you might. You might just really. But you might starve to death doing something you enjoy.
Well, it's
because you want to go do
like,
a job that you hate going to every day. What the fuck? Why do it?
It's like telling the antelopes when you see the lion run,
right,
and you'll be okay. Well, maybe you'll be the one that they eat, and that everybody else will be okay. I mean, that's the reality of life. It's not guaranteed, and there's a lot of people that follow their dreams and they
still don't.
wind up broken, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known that. I'm sure you know that in comedy. I mean, how many guys do you know that you started out with that kind of had potential?
Yeah, a lot. Well, there's a lot funnier guys than me. I got very lucky, and the timing of when everything hit and what I did. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't imagine if I was starting now, where I don't even know if there's any comedy shows on TV anymore. I mean,
remember we
had the comic strip live.
It's like Netflix is basically it.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. So if Netflix is going to do it, I used to be able to do Comic Strip Live and Evening at the Improv and The Tonight Show and Conan and all those shows. The late night shows. That's where you got your.
Do they still have unknown comics on, like the Tonight Show or?
I don't think that.
No?
I don't think any late night show puts on comics anymore. I mean,
really?
Unless you're selling a book or doing something. Yeah, I used to do the Tonight Show like every month. I would call Jay.
What's that?
That's my impression.
That's better than Gene Simmons.
Yeah, that's great.
That makes more sense.
So
Gene
it's crazy.
Simmons.
You know. So I used to do that show all the time. In fact, one time we were doing it, and I remember I had to go back and do a show in Vegas. So I did the show. I think it was might have even been like New Year's Eve, and he says, I said, I got to go back to Vegas. He goes, I'm going back to Vegas tonight too. And I said, are you in Southwest? He goes, yeah, I'm in Southwest. Yeah. I said, I literally had my ticket. I said, he said, no, you're going to go with me in my jet. And I said, when? He goes, right after the show. I have a show. I have a show and I. So let's go together. So me and my assistant and Jay get on the jet, his jet, and we're flying into Vegas. And I'm thinking, this is one of those moments you just kind of like take. He's dead asleep, mouth wide open. I'm thinking the whole time, I'm so I want to throw a peanut in his mouth. You know what I mean? It's just like Jay Leno. His head's this big, right? He's got a big head, and you're just like, I'm staring at him, and he has a thing like Carrot Top written on his briefcase, because I guess it was something about.
He had a folder.
The folder. I said Carrot Top on it, but I guess it would just be to I don't know, to remind him that I'm on the jet with him or whatever. I don't know. It just said Carrot. But I'm looking at my assistant. I said, this is a moment we just take in. We're on a private jet with fucking Jay Leno. He's passed out, and it's really bad weather. We're bouncing around like so bad, right? And it's getting really bad. So I'm holding on to the things like, oh fuck, I really don't like this. And we hit some really bad air pockets, and he's just. And he literally just, that's crazy. And he's having a dream. So he wakes up, he looks over, and I'm like, oh God. He's like, you okay? I said, no, I'm really not, Jay. This is he goes, hey, just think though. He says, if we go down and we die, then the newspaper's going to say, Jay Leno dies with 2 unknowns. I'm like, well, fucker, I was just on your show. I'm known. Yeah.
He really said that?
Yeah.
How rude.
Yeah, rude.
That's a little
No, he was just being funny. I got to cock
waved on you. Jay Leno goes down with 2 unknowns.
Yeah, 2 unknowns.
How rude.
I said, I think I said something like, well, I could have done Letterman. I would have been known, but I did your show instead.
Jay Leno is so much better on his car show than anything else he's ever done.
Yeah.
Other than stand-up.
I asked to be on, because I've done the show with him so many times. I said, can I be on the car show?
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't know you like cars. I said, I don't have to like cars. I can still be on your show and make it, let me be on your show. What kind of car do you have? I said, I just have one.
Cars.
He's like, one? I said, yeah, I have a G-Wagon. That's all I got. And he's like, well, that's not. I said, no, I'll be in one of I'll come out of the trunk with my props. It'll make it funny. We have to know a little bit about cars. I know a little bit about a car. I mean, I know the hood is there and the trunk.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. And he's like, yeah, I really,
It's not that kind of show.
Yeah.
It's the kind of show for someone who's obsessed with cars. Like, I'm a car freak. So for me, it's like.
Okay, so you probably.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a car
It's like if I had you on an.
I like cars.
If I had you on an MMA show, do you know anything about UFC?
Yeah.
A lot?
Well, I know. What's his White Dana?
Oh, that guy. You see what I'm saying? Like if I had an MMA show and I wanted to talk about possible matchups and I had you on,
right.
you really wouldn't know.
I would say that guy.
He looks mean.
He looks.
That guy
Yeah,
looks
that
scary.
guy,
Hook him up.
Well, I went to a match. This is funny in Vegas, and this is not a joke. So I go to this. They put me right in the front of the chain. Fucking, right.
The cage.
So you already would have been
like that
already
thing,
been horrible on your
that thing where the
on your
contest
show.
takes
the
place.
Thing with the cage, right? So
Yes,
you know
yes,
a lot
yes.
about this, right? I know enough. So I'm right there, and this guy's getting, badly beaten. Just he couldn't get up, and the guy's just, and I'm right this close to, like, holding onto the fence, and his face is like, bam, 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 right? And he literally is getting, and he opens his eyes. He goes, "Carrot Top."
Really?
Yeah. I go,
oh my God.
I go, "Get out," because I can't. This guy was just, it's just a great scene. Carrot Top. I said, "Get up." He's like, "I can't." And I kept saying, "Don't hurt my friend." Hey.
That's called a lack of focus.
Yeah.
He's really supposed to be paying attention on the task at hand.
Well, that's what made me laugh, because he just recognized me only on the.
That's the guy who's pursued
Carrot
his
Top?
dream, and maybe maybe he's one of them antelopes.
Maybe.
Maybe he's one of them antelopes with a limp. That's just part of.
It's great though. For me, I was like, dude.
Yeah, fun for you.
I was on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
But then I kept telling the other guy, just leave him alone. He's my friend. He knows me.
I don't think you listened, right?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No.
So people that have never been to it live before are stunned. The energy and also the
Sure.
fact it's so different when there's no commentary, because you're kind of like watching it play out in your head and you hear, what is he doing?
Right.
Like, who's winning? You hear like stuff like that from
Yeah, you
people in the
definitely.
audience.
You're right though. You'd have to have commentary.
Well, not necessarily, because like some fights you just see what's happening. You know what's going on.
You just hear the pounding.
Yeah, you see people getting fucked up.
Just that sound.
Yeah.
The fucking.
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
It's like that with NASCAR too. I got in with NASCAR when I was doing some AT&T commercial shit back in the day, and so they said you got to go to a Talladega or whatever Daytona thing. So I said okay. I grew up in Florida, but never been to a race, and you go to that and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Not just that, but it's like so smart. It's like, people make fun of NASCAR. It's like they're dumb, they're idiots. Not only do they all come in their private jets, but the calculations and the people and the number crunching and the shit happening during the whole race, that's unbelievable. I take a quarter thing and then pull that down and crank one. It's like you just lead there going, fuck, these guys are brilliant.
Yeah, there's a lot of engineering involved.
Engineering.
Right? There's a lot of money involved. Whenever there's a lot of money, those pit
brains.
crews.
Yeah, their brain. But it's funny how people think of NASCAR as these dumb, and then you look and you're like, this is completely smart.
It is, but the thing that drives people nuts is that it's a circle.
That's true.
Just going around.
That used to be one of my jokes in my show. I said, Danica Patrick, she had her blinker on the whole time. It was some stupid joke, I forget. I think she had her blinker on the whole time. Well, they should make half the girls go the other way. That would be fun. Yeah, have half girls that way and half girls go that way. And then, yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Jesus Christ, that would be wild. You might have just created a new sport.
There you go. That would be fun, right?
Fuck yeah.
Half the cars start up that way, and then they go, and go. And
they would have to make the cars much more protected. But if
they
just
did
make
them like a ramp, and that way, if they did hit it, they
fly through the air.
That was one of my first props I ever rode. Dennis Miller, by the way. Can I tell you my Dennis Miller thing?
No.
Okay.
Please.
So I was performing it. This is one of my that goes back to like weird shit. So I was performing. I only had like 15 minutes, maybe tops, one trunk of stuff, and that's how I actually. Funny enough, I used to say, God, if I just build more shit, I could do more time. So if I had more shit, I could headline.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had like one trunk. It was like maybe 20 props, 5 were good. I would just spread it out and try to get through. So they called me literally like 4 in the afternoon. I'm in Charlotte, and they said, you want to open for Dennis Miller at Wake Forest University? And I said, when? They said, tonight. I said, tonight? Fuck, it's 4 in the afternoon. How am I going to get to Wake? So, yeah, 3 hours, you can drive there, and you can open. So I said, fuck yeah, right? It's my first big. So I take my little.
What year is this?
90 or 89, 80 something. Maybe somewhere in that.
Right.
And so I get there, and it's a huge auditorium. It's their homecoming. It's fucking right. It's like 4,000 seat arena. And I remember the Braves were playing in the World Series against somebody. So and he's a big Pittsburgh. And the only reason I know this is because Dennis Miller's a big Pittsburgh Pirate fan. So I get there, and I'm like just beyond nervous. I set my little trunk up, and the packed crowd, and the guy sends me out, and he says, do 15 minutes. I said, I don't know if I have 15. I'll do what I can do. The crowd was so good, right? So I go out, and I'm doing like my Wendy's, all my fucking shit that was, And I, like 3 jokes in, and one was a car. I said, they should make a car built like a ramp, so if you have head on collision, you just jump over it, right? And it kills. And then I pick up my paper cups and string with the call waiting in it. Oh, that was the closer, so I waited for that. So I look over, it was my huge closer. And I look over, and I see, oh, fuck, there's Dennis Miller standing with the guy that booked me, right? And Dennis Miller's just standing there watching, and I remember he's just being really short kind of guy. And the guy was going like, and I've only done like 3 jokes.
Oh, Dennis wants you to get off stage?
I guess. So I look over, and then I look over again, and then I do it on the joke, and then I look, and the guy's like, just like wrap it up, right? And I'm like, I've only done not even 5 minutes. So I do my closer, my big paper cups and string. Yeah, here's one for the new call waiting, and then conference calling, and da-da-da. So kills. I'm not even done with it. He walks out, and he says, leave your shit. Because I was going to get it out of the way for him.
Right.
And I said, okay. And then he didn't say anything, and then I went up into the rafters of the theater and watched him perform. And afterwards, anyway, he left, right? And so then he said something like, he picked up the car with the ramp, and he looked at it, and he went, and threw it, but like tossed it.
Right.
And the whole crowd was like what the fuck, right? Because they loved me. I was just young. They were like, they loved me. I was doing so well, and they could tell that he just like made fun of him and like defaced my thing. And everyone went, oh. He's like, take it easy. They called me Topper. He says, Topper is funny, right? Show's over. I go to say hi to him. He already left. I didn't want to say hi. I said, okay. So then for 5 years at least, he would make fun of me on his show. Any show he did, he would make fun of me, like getting a bad right. And then one day, Margaret Cho is on like an election night thing they used to do with Dennis Miller. And he says something about Carrot Top. And she says, why do you have... Carrot Top's a sweet guy. Why do you hate him so much? And he says, I'll tell you why. And he says, he opened for me, and he's had the school wrong, Notre Dame or something. And he did, 35 minutes. He was supposed to do 10. He did 35 minutes, and he doesn't know how to watch his time, and he needs to learn that and this, right? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So all these years go by. I'm in a hotel in L.A. Doors open. I said, Dennis, and he goes, Topper. I said, we have to clear something up. He says, what's that? I said, not only is your story not holding, no, you went long. And I said, wait. I said, I couldn't have gone long because I only had 5 fucking minutes. So I didn't go long. I said, let's just clear the air. I didn't go long. I couldn't have gone long. There was no possibility I could go long. And that's the story. And he's like, yeah, well, whatever. Bolts off. I'm like, that went well. And then I'm with David Spade one night, and I said, David Spade, hey, could you like help me clear the air with fucking Dennis Miller? And he goes, what happened? I said, so I tell him the story. He goes, no, you went long. I said, I couldn't go. To this day, I couldn't go. I didn't go long. So anyway, finally he's like, whatever. Just, you know what? Let it go, dude. I'm like, 'cause again, I want him to like me. I want him to be my friend.
Of course.
So then we did the all-star basketball game in Vegas, and I go in there. Everyone's like, all the ESPN people are, there, and I sit down, and who's sitting right behind me?
Dennis Miller.
Yeah. So I look back and I go, Dennis, and he says, yeah. I said, something about, well, I got one seat better than you, or something about my hair blocking. You won't be able to see the game because of my stupid hair or something. Probably really ruined your night. He says, you know what's really going to ruin my night? And I said, what? And he says, my son wants to meet you, and he was so mad. My son loves you. I said, oh my God, that must really burn your. He might really hate that. And he goes, yeah, he's your biggest. He loves Carrot Top. I said, see, tell your dad that I'm okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so now I think we've become good friends. It was just again communication and misunderstanding. I didn't, I wouldn't have done that to.
Well, it's also people get real tense before they go on stage, and if they feel like you're doing something that they don't like, some comics get upset.
Well, I hope he didn't have a car with a ramp.
No,
okay.
I don't think he did. But it's
He's
like
doing my joke. I have a car with a ramp.
It's all one of those things. It's like, who booked that? Why would you take a guy who's got like these witty one-liners and put him with a guy who's a prop act? It's like they don't necessarily jive.
I don't know. Actually, it would have jived pretty good because it was so different. The crowd was going.
But that's not always good. Different's not always good.
Well, that's true. I had a guy with some dog thing happened before my show.
A dog thing?
It was a guy that said, they sent a thing, and I said, oh, that'd be kind of funny. It's like dogs doing like whatever. And that might be cute for my show, and it was just horrendous.
So he had an act with dogs?
It was like a dog that, did this, whatever.
Oh, the dog performed with him?
Yeah, something like that. I forget now, it's been too long ago. But they were the only funniest pet one I've ever seen. I think his name's Bruce Block. He opened for Amazing Jonathan one night. And this is brilliant shit. I don't know why I didn't think of this. So there's a little carpet stage, right? Just enough for like your dog. Just enough for a little dog. And there's a microphone, just like this. There's the stage, a little microphone. And they said, please, the lights go down, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, whatever the fuck, Muffy so-and-so. And the little fucking rabbit, this is great, walks up on the thing and grabs the mic like this.
The dog grabs the mic?
No, the bunny.
Oh,
and he grabbed, this is
a bunny.
The bunny, it was a bunny. It's
not a dog.
No, that was different. This is Amazing John. I wish I'd hired. It's that fucking weed. I would have hired this guy. It was so fucking good though, right? So this little bunny rabbit comes up and but he doesn't just go like, he grabs it like this and he says, "What's up, motherfuckers?" Right? So what the guy did, he's got a little feeder in it,
right?
And he's trained it, of course, to hold like this. But then when he'd feed it, he would go like that, and he'd say, "Hey, motherfuckers!" And then it was like
so the carrot. It was eating
20
like
minutes
food.
It was 20 minutes of this rabbit telling really funny, dirty jokes, and the way he would mannerism with the mic. He's like, yeah, fucking hell, these fucking cocksuckers over here.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was great. It was a brilliant.
That's brilliant.
It was brilliant. I remember the whole time. Not I'm like crying. I'm like, why did I not think of that? God damn it.
That is a great idea, and if you get that rabbit to really keep eating,
Bruce Block, I think his name was.
If you get the rabbit to keep eating and you had some good solid jokes.
Oh yeah, he could do anything.
That's a great idea.
No, it's great. And he never read a joke. And because I think Bruce is down there doing the voice, like, hey, look at this lady over here.
I met Dennis Miller. The first time I met Dennis Miller, I was at one of those. Have you ever done one of those television things where you do like a block of press and they have like, it's been so long I forget what they call them, but whenever you
press.
A junket thing. So there would be like a bunch of stars from a bunch of different NBC shows and what have you. And so I'm peeing, and Dennis pulls up beside me, and he goes, "Hey, Joey, you got yourself a hit over there, huh?" And I look over and I said, yeah. He goes, "It's doing pretty good." He says, "Yeah, that Fear Factor, doing pretty fucking good, pal. Congratulations." I go, "Oh, okay." It's just weird when you're talking to somebody for the very first time and you have your dick in your hand.
Yeah.
And they're standing like a foot away from you and they're like, "Hi."
We have something in common. We have something very similar. I'm not making this up. Bill Maher, if he was sitting right here, he'd remember this. So I had never met Bill Maher. It was at the American Comedy Awards. And it might have been the night that I won. So I go into the bathroom. I didn't know he's in there. So and first of all, before I even do Bill Maher was peeing next to me. Next to me was Casey Kasem.
Oh, wow.
And next to Casey Kasem, this is not a joke, you can't make this shit up, right? Was Larry King. So when I walk into the bathroom, I see, not a joke. And
Three icons.
No, I see. No, he had his pants all the way down.
Which one, Casey?
No,
Bill?
No,
Larry King.
Larry King.
That seems like.
And I walked in. I remember thinking, no, seriously. But you think, why would you get this? But he had. It's just like, who does that? When
that.
Who does that when you pee? You don't. Pull
I'm gonna do that from now on.
Yeah,
fuck it.
It's all the way down. And so that caught my eye. I was like, what the fuck? And then I see Casey Kasem. He's really short. And then Bill Maher. So I literally come into like a horse into my stall, and I look over and I see Casey Kasem, and I look over at Bill Maher. I always said was, I said, nice cock. And he's like, what the? And now Bill's, he just loses his shit, right? He's laughing so hard. And then Casey Kasem's like, what the fuck is going on in this bathroom, right? And it's comedy words anyhow, right? So I go back to my table, and Bill Maher's table's a couple over from mine. He's got like 20 people literally at his table, and he's telling his whole table, and they're all looking over at me, and he's like, come here. And I'm like, fuck. So I go over and I go, hey. And he says, tell him what. I said, you already told him what I did. And he's like, that was fucking funny and very risky. I said, I didn't know what to say to you. I'm a big fan, so I figured, hey, nice cock. And it's really not, but I just want to get on your show. And he says, you want to be on my show? And I said, yeah. He says, call me tomorrow. And if you're available this weekend, like literally that week. And I was on the show like 3 days later.
Wow.
Because I said he had a nice cock.
That's nice. This is politically incorrect days?
Yeah, politically incorrect, yeah.
That was a fascinating situation. You talk about like someone getting canceled from a show that was like probably the best thing that could ever happen. Oh. Like this was during the Iraq War.
Right.
And he was talking about like, I think what he said was something along, I don't want to fuck it up, but like, who's a coward? The people who flew the planes in the building, or the people who dropped bombs from a distance, or something?
Right.
Something along those lines. And people got very, very, very upset. And then they wound up pulling the show.
Yeah.
And then he went over to HBO, and it became an infinitely better version of the show. And he's
true.
He's one of the best people of our era of pushing back against the most extreme, ridiculous leftist sort of censoring views, and
he's kind of all over the place
cancel
too.
culture thing.
He's kind of all over the place with.
Well, he's very liberal, but he's an old school liberal, as in I am. It's like there's a difference between liberals that are just like, they think of themselves as open-minded people that realize that not everybody starts off at the same starting point. So this idea of pull yourself up by your own bootstrings is pretty ridiculous. That's me. That's what I think. And that we all need some social programs. The world needs them. I mean, when I was a kid, I was on welfare. My parents were on welfare. We had food stamps. Like, I remember that very clearly. And so, like, the idea that everybody should just figure it out on their own. No, man, if we're a community, we're supposed to be helping each other, and there's a certain amount of social programs that benefit society. But he's also a guy who realizes that there's a certain amount of pushback against certain aspects of our society that become almost like cult-like, and they don't make sense, and things get preposterous and ridiculous, and they go too far with things, and that's where Bill stands. It's like, he's more of an old school, like, being a liberal from 20 years ago was very different than being a liberal of today or a leftist of today. Like, people today are like leaning so far towards socialism and Marxism that it's like, I don't know if they're doing it because they've thought it through, if they're doing it because this is the ideology of the moment, of the youth, and they think they're going to reshape society and change things, which is like every young group thinks they're going to do that. Every new group of people. But Bill, in my opinion, is one of the very best of our current crop of people that's got a voice that speaks out against that stuff.
Yeah. He's brilliant, actually. He is. Yeah.
And his show's brilliant. Whoever's writing those things is brilliant.
Yeah, well, I know one of the Scott, someone. Yeah, I've known him for years. He's been with him day one.
Yeah, well, there's
a whole bunch of writers.
It's a very good show.
Yeah. His main guy is great.
Yeah, it's complicated. I feel like that show would even be better if it was like a long format show on the internet. With no censor.
I should drink.
Why did I drink?
Why did I drink the other
There's nothing wrong with Crown.
I drank the better stuff.
I was just joking.
My first beer I ever had. My dad worked back at Space Center. Went to a launch, and I was like 12. We go to see a shuttle launch, and 100, Florida, 100 degrees out, and sitting there. I said, "Can we get like a hot dog and a Coke or something?" My dad's like, "What do you want?" I said, "I don't know, Coke and a hot dog." He says, the line for a Coke and hot dog was like 70 deep, and the line for a beer was like 2. So my dad looks at me and says, "You're drinking a fucking beer." And I said, "A beer? I'm 12. He goes, "Just don't tell your mom." I said, "Okay." So I saw like 3 launches that day. I got home. My mom was like, "How was the launch?" I said, "There was like 3 rockets." She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "No, I had beer." "You gave him a beer?" Yeah.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny? Because that's my dad's thing. He's logic. He's like, I'm not waiting in that fucking line. You're getting a beer.
When you saw the launch, did you wonder if it was going to blow up?
Well, this is prior to the blowing up one.
The Challenger one?
Yeah, but I was of course my dad knew everybody on that one.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, I was in college at the time and I was driving a courier van, and I remember, the news came on and I was like, what the? It was on the talk radio I used to listen to. Before we had cell phones, so I pulled over and found a payphone and I called my dad and he was like, just at the Space Center and just losing his mind. He's like, yeah, it just happened.
I was at this girl I was dating. We kind of stopped dating. We kind of broken up, and she moved to another part of the state, and I went to visit her there. And I think she had gone to school. I think I had graduated from high school, and she was still a senior. I think that's what was happening. So she had gone to school, and I was staying at her house still. And I watched TV, and I didn't see the actual bomb, the actual Challenger blow up. I saw a replay of it. They were playing the replay on TV. So I turned on TV, and I was like, holy fuck. I don't know if she was there or not. It's hard to remember. It was so long ago. But I never forget, like, seeing it and trying to figure out what was happening.
Right.
What's going on with that?
Imagine people there watching
it didn't make
too.
sense.
They're like,
yeah, when there's a tragedy and you get to watch, like, you see a video of it, you're like, is this real? Like, am I watching something that's real? Did this really happen? It was, like, now you see, like, fucking Jeff Bezos is going flying around. Like, what is he doing? Richard Branson, they're all going into space. Like, hey, guys.
My neighbors are on one of those flights coming up with Branson, I think.
So many people are giving Jeff Bezos shit because he was at a party for New Year's. It was a disco party, and they're shitting all over the way he was dressed.
Well,
I think he looks great. Okay, a lot of you people are fucking haters. They're haters because
what did he look like?
Well, here's the thing. There's a video. I'd like you to find this video before you show me what he looked like. There's a video from Jeff Bezos. He's driving a Honda and he's being interviewed by this guy. And he's worth, at the time, Amazon was just taking off and he was worth approximately $8 billion. And so the guy says to him, yeah, this is it. Play this. 1999. Play this.
Yeah, right.
Somewhere in the vicinity of $9 or $10 billion today. I only say that because I've got a follow-up question.
Okay.
What's with the Honda?
This is a perfectly good car.
Okay, now
that's good.
This is 1999. Okay, so here we are, almost 22 years later. Look at him.
What's wrong with that?
First of all, he's fucking jacked.
I was gonna say he's ripped. He's got a beautiful girl with him.
She's hot as fuck. She's hot as the sun.
Looks like he's packing some
jacked.
heat.
He's jacked and he's dressed for a disco party. So he had a disco party at his house.
Well, but so
like,
what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. But that is a
but see, there's another thing of people,
transformation.
Why people just being mean?
Well, it's just because he's now worth $180 billion. He's worth like, I think it's between him and Elon. They go back and forth as who's the richest person in the world.
Right.
Look at him. He's jacked. Jacked. Look at him. That's that same dorky guy in the Honda, and now he probably.
Oh wow, you're right. Wow.
Yeah, he's Carrot Top in the fucking late 80s or whatever it was. What year was it when you got really jacked?
Oh, it was more of that. It was like in the
2000s?
in the thousands somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will last it for a small bit, and I guess
he's riding that testosterone replacement therapy ride, and he's in full effect. Look, but why? Who cares? But why is it if he was a rapper?
Who cares?
If he was a rapper and he was doing that, everybody would be like, "Fuck yeah, look at Pitbull," or look at you know.
But why does anyone care about anyone else's personal choices of things too? I've never understood. No matter what it is, whether it's just doing steroids or doing this or doing that or doing that. What's the point of it?
Two things. One, because it's fun to make fun of people.
Oh, true.
So you look at him right there. It's fun to say, "Oh, fucking midlife crisis."
Right.
But let's be honest. He's killing it.
Yeah.
The guy's killing it.
Nothing wrong with it.
Looks great.
Yeah.
You go back to that guy in the Honda.
Yeah.
This is a perfectly good car.
Yeah, it's a great car. Yeah.
Like you go back,
a nerd. Yeah.
Yeah. Go back to that guy in a 1999 Honda, and then who knows what does Jeff Bezos drive today? I mean, he's probably
maybe the same Honda.
Got some fucking exotic handmade shit.
Yeah, probably.
They fly in from overseas.
They chrome like Justin Bieber had a chromed.
He's probably balling out of control.
Yeah,
completely out of control.
Why not? He's good for him.
But why not? But the point is, it's like, like Jeff Bezos is successful.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't he be jacked with a super hot girlfriend? dressing like a pimp.
Right.
I don't
He's
see.
got a dirty, really nasty Bugatti.
Let me see the fucking Bugatti. Let's
Trying
see the
to-
goddamn Bugatti. I like it.
Shit.
I like it, Jeff. I like the new you. This is how I feel.
That's a great
Yes!
Jesus. Yeah. Look at that.
That's like a $5 million
I was
car.
gonna say, how much are those? Yeah.
I was trying to find a picture of him in
Yeah.
it so I could know for sure. If
Yeah.
I
it
think they're
says-
worth like $5 million bucks.
Wow.
They're preposterous cars. That's Jeff Bezos's Bugatti. Woo!
Look at that. Now, I
Why
remember doing
not?
the Tonight Show with Jay. I remember when Jay, he always had all those cars. And one day I went out, that parking spot he had right there in the front. He said it was a bike, but it had a jet engine on it.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
so
I've seen that.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there looking at him like, what the fuck? And Jay comes out. And I said, is that is that like a jet bike? And he goes, yeah, it's that bike. I said, well, how fast does this go? He goes, it's the fastest one. This is a jet. And I said, well, how fast have you had it? And he's like, like 185. I'm like, 180. Of course, from L.A. to Vegas, probably in that stretch of. But I'm like, when else can you go like on a jet? Why do you need a jet bike to go like through L.A.? Like, how would you just for shit? You have so much money. I'm gonna get a jet bike.
Well, he's just
He's
fascinated
got a fire
by
truck.
cars.
Oh no, he's great. And then
Yeah.
I asked him to bring in, which made me think of the story with the cars. I asked him, his assistant Helga. I said, could Jay bring in the Ford GT? Because I saw that he had it on something, and she said, yeah. So pull up, nice enough. He drove it in just for me to look at it, and he says to me, this is what you want to see? And I said, yeah, I love this car. And he goes, I have a McLaren. I could have brought that. I said, I don't want the McLaren. I want the Ford GT. And he's like, the McLaren is the way better. And like he was shocked. That's the one I wanted to see. I have way better cars, And I seen the fire truck. Can you imagine Jay Leno driving down the fucking 405 with his fucking fire truck?
Well, then,
which he does.
Was it the older Ford GT?
Yeah, it was the Ford GT. The
like
coupe with the stripe.
2005-ish?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, with this double
Yeah.
blue stripe on
Yeah,
the white with double blue stripes. It was fucking
ever
great.
seen
What
one
is
of these?
that?
What is that one?
Lamborghini?
Veneno.
Veneno?
It's the most expensive car he has, according to the article.
Most
Wow.
expensive
Oh,
car
that's
that
the
Jay
one,
has?
No, Jeff Bezos.
Jeff
Oh,
Bezos.
Karsky Bezos has got a fucking million cars. I love it.
I still like
love
the
the fact he
Cannonball
goes
Run,
from
that-
the fucking Honda to that.
Yeah, to that.
He goes
yeah.
from
He might have
dorky guy with the hair on the
He might have a big pickup
sides
truck too.
to fully jacked man with the smoking hot girlfriend
Yeah.
on a
the
yacht.
cheapest car he has, apparently.
That's the cheapest car.
That's the cheapest car. It's only $1
Wait,
million.
what's it going backwards? It's like Southwest.
that's-
What is that?
Ferrari Pininfarina Sergio. It's a $3 million
Doesn't it look like it's
car.
going backwards?
It does look like it's going backwards. Yeah, it does. It's weird looking. It's cool.
It is cool.
I love it. I've never even seen that before. Where's the windshield?
I would
though?
actually drive it backwards
I-
just to fuck with people. I'd go. I
That's
would.
strange.
It seems like it doesn't have a windshield. That
Yeah,
doesn't
it doesn't
seem
have a
real.
windshield.
Do you have to wear goggles? What if you get hit in the face with a squirrel? Like, what if like a fucking
Yeah, I think
that
you
doesn't
don't-
have a
the windshield.
windshield? That has no windshield. Like, oh my god, there,
Hey, I'm in the car with him. Wait a minute.
it's Jeff Bezos and Carrot
Carrot
Top. But why would you buy a car with no windshield? That's just silly.
Well, he has no hair. He's fine.
yeah,
To me,
but
it's
your
a,
face.
It's a mess.
If you fly into a flock of birds, you're a dead man.
No,
Like just a bug.
I like this. He's too rich. He doesn't need a fucking windshield.
But if you're going 180 miles an
You
hour and you
need a
hit a
windshield.
bug, is that what it
Maybe
looks
it's
like?
removable.
maybe you can
Oh.
removable. Yeah.
What? Really?
Maybe.
No, I think the top one's a concept.
Yeah,
I don't think
maybe.
it's real. I think the
You'd have to
bottom
have
one is
it.
the
Yeah, yeah,
actual
You'd have
car
to
itself.
have
That's what it is. Yeah, they're showing. They just
Yeah.
took the picture of the concept car.
They do stuff like that with concept. Like I have muscle cars, and sometimes when they build them, they don't put side mirrors on them, and they want to keep no side mirrors on it. And I'm like, hey guys, I need side mirrors. I drive these things,
Yeah.
but these guys who make custom cars, they don't want to
They
put
don't have
side
side mirrors
mirrors
on them. Yeah, it
they
fucks
want to
up the
keep it
streamline.
sleek.
Yeah.
Like look up Joe Rogan's 1969 Nova. My friend Steve Strope is building me a 1969 Nova. Look, when I was in high school, man, I was obsessed with cars and I was obsessed with muscle cars. And at the time, that's
look at that.
That's what it looked like in the rough. But there's newer images of it where it's like finished, where you can see the shine. That's just the bare metal. It was released recently. Keep scrolling.
See, I like these
right there, where you're clicking on right there. So that is what it looks like now.
Oh, wow.
So that's like, but see, look, no side mirrors, and that's my buddy Steve.
right.
The cursor is over my buddy Steve Strope, who's a masterful car design.
You're right, though. No side mirrors, but you're right. Because it would keep it more. That's a beautiful car.
It's beautiful. I love
That's
those.
a beautiful car.
Oh my God, I love those 1960s.
Yeah, those kind of
muscle
cars are cool. I always wanted to
they're my
find a
favorite.
Ford or a Chevy truck.
Oh, dude, I can find you one.
Like you
Yeah,
know,
I know people,
with the big round back mirror or
Yeah.
window on it.
Dude, whatever.
A burnt orange.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a really burnt orange.
Yeah. Dude, you know what you should get? You should get an Icon Thriftmaster. Do you know what that is?
No.
Well, you need to
Find
check
it
out
out.
this.
Find it.
My friend Jonathan Ward. Jonathan Ward is he runs Icon.
Oh,
It's his
that's
company.
it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, look
that's
at that.
Exactly what that's
it.
so weird.
Yeah, is that Ward's
That's almost exactly
Thriftmaster?
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Even did the same damn color.
Okay, that's a 48. That's not Jonathan's. That's a 1948
Beautiful,
Chevy. That's a
beautiful
gorgeous
car.
car though. That's for sale. That's at Vanguard Motor Sales. There's a site called VanguardMotorsales.com. I think it's VanguardMotors.com, but they specialize in a lot of these really cool old. Go to VanguardMotors.com, but just go there. They probably have a car like this for sale there, because that came from Vanguard. I visit their website all the time just to see what kind of shit they have. And if you like scroll
muscle
into their
cars, yeah.
inventory, just click current inventory. Yeah, the older,
wow.
see,
Jeez.
so you go really old. They have like a 1941 Willys. But if you scroll down a little, they have those pickup trucks.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
look at
they
that.
do. Look at that.
55 Ford. Look at that black
like
one in
the
the
black- I
middle.
was gonna say, I like the black one, actually,
shit.
more than I
look
like
at
the-
that thing.
yeah.
Oh, and that's a resto mod too. So it's got a modern Coyote engine. So it's got a modern Ford engine, which is what I love. I love when they take
Yeah,
an
the black
old
one's
car,
cool.
but they put new shit in.
shit
Oh,
in
they
it.
have a few. They have 4 different resto mods that are from the 50s. Look at that F100 pickup truck, the green one.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's badass. God damn. And look at the red one in the middle. That's another
Yeah, those are
resto
beautiful,
mod.
beautiful cars.
Supercharged 350. But yeah, like this
All
is
these.
my style of
Oh
car.
no, but I agree with you. If you were going to do a car, the muscle cars are beautiful.
Oh, my
look
God.
Look at the Ford. Look at that Ford Bronco.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. Well, this car.
OJ's right underneath. The OJ underneath.
No,
it.
it's a
He
different
lives in
kind.
Vegas. I
Yeah,
see
the-
OJ all the time.
Do
by
you
the way.
really?
Yeah.
What is that like? Hey,
Well, it's
scroll up a
weird.
little bit. Scroll up a little bit.
I'll tell you my OJ.
Scroll
story.
up. Go left. That green resto. Click on that.
Oh wow, that's a great
That
color
gets
too.
my dick hard.
Look at that. Look,
Look
at that green.
at that
Holy,
fucking
oh,
car.
wow, that made my dick hard. That's
God
beautiful.
damn,
shit.
that's beautiful. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. That is a fucking gorgeous car. 1967. Whew.
That's beautiful. The green on that's nice.
Oh my God, that's so
Chrome.
beautiful. I love
Where is
that
this?
kind
Where
of
is this?
cars.
Where is this one out of? This place?
I don't know where they are. I want to say they might be in Detroit.
Oh,
I'm not
beautiful.
sure.
Beautiful.
Michigan, yeah.
Michigan,
They're in
okay.
Michigan. But like, look at that
We were just in
fucking
Michigan, yeah.
car, man. That's what I like. I like these when they take an old car, but they put all new underpinnings and
Everything. Yeah.
that,
They redo-
that makes me
That's
excited.
what they call that. Not even restoring. They it's brand new. That's like,
Yeah, they call them resto mods.
Resto
That's
mods.
what my 69 Nova is.
Nice.
It's like
That's beautiful.
it's a 69 Nova on the outside, but Steve took the fenders of a 1969 Camaro because they're wider, and he fused those to the
Nice,
body of the
nice.
69. Yes,
Beautiful.
that's what I like.
Beautiful.
But anyway, go to Icon Thriftmaster. So the reason why I'm saying Icon is because what Jonathan Ward does, he takes it like many, many, many levels past where a normal person would take it. And he does these incredible cars where it's like incredible engineering. He works on these things for fucking years before any car ever gets made. And he's designed these Thriftmasters, and they're fucking drop dead gorgeous. Like you see them.
that's beautiful.
I've seen a bunch
Look
of
at
them.
that one.
Look at that. That's one that's kind of cool, but he's got ones that are like matte black. Like
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
Oh,
look at
that's
that
cool. That's
silver
cool.
one. I mean, but these things drive fantastic. I mean, they're really cool. Old. Go to that black one on the far. Ooh, look at that
Yeah,
one.
that's cool.
Look at that matte black one. I mean, come on, son. That still looks like Sylvester Stallone would drive that in a fucking action movie.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous cars, and they're meticulously done. And Jonathan is just a stickler for design and detail, and he just
Look at
loves
that.
things
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
all beautiful.
Yeah. There's something about those old cars.
That's
they
what I
have-
want, an old truck.
You can get one,
So I
buddy.
can put my little prop trunk in the back and head to the improv and
Would you?
do a guest set. Pull up in that.
Do you have a guest spot?
Yeah, no, it's
set?
funny. Yeah, it's funny you say that. I used to make a joke years ago. I'd have a little, like a little miniature trunk that would have like 10 small props. So if I wanted to do a guest set, I could just pop in and just walk in with it.
Do you ever do that?
No, I should because it'd be funny. I think.
Well, Vegas has a real comedy scene now.
I
You
don't.
could stop in somewhere.
I would probably go to like do one of the
Right.
go to the
Improv
old
or
days in the
something.
improv
Yeah.
when Bud Friedman would tell me to get my shit out of the hallway.
The monocle.
I always sitting there. Yeah.
Oh. Do you have you gone to any of those local Vegas clubs? Because Vegas is a lot
Brad
of clubs
Garrett's
now.
a good friend of mine. He's got a brand new club. It's gorgeous. I mean, like they spent a shit ton of money.
Is
on
it a new one or the one that's in the MGM?
No, it's brand new in the MGM. Just opened last week.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, the other one that existed, Dom Herrera loves that place.
Oh,
the last one. Yeah.
Oh, the last one he
the
had.
last one he had in the
it was
the
a great.
MGM.
No, it was a great club. But now Brad just built a whole new MGM.
Is it in the same?
It's in the same
location?
hotel. No, it's in the better location. It's in the where the
where
mall shops are. It used to be buried down in the.
Yeah.
Now it's up in the top.
That was kind of what's cool about it. You had to go downstairs in the
Yeah,
basement.
I agreed. But I haven't been to the new one, but I hear it. Brad, of course, is a sweetheart.
He's a great guy.
He came to my show on my anniversary last couple weeks ago, and it was great.
I middled
He came
for
back,
Brad
he was-
Garrett in like the fucking early 90s. I middled for Brad Garrett like
Nice,
91
yeah.
or 92 before Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. He's a giant dude.
Oh no, he's great. I had to rip the same thing. I went on into the audience and I didn't. I said, "Want to be announced or not?" But I said, "Fucking, you can't not announce him. He's 6'7" or whatever the
Right.
fuck. He's sitting in the thing, little seat." So I said, "Brad."
And he
I
talks
said,
like this.
Yeah. He's
Can you do a
so
Brad
he's
Garrett
so
impression?
fucking. Let me see. Nah. Yes, I could. I should. I can do a Gilbert Gottfried. What is these people? All right, no.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Brad Garrett. So Brad sitting in the audience. So I said, Brad, Garrett. And everybody's going crazy. Everybody loves fucking. Well, everybody loves Raymond. They really don't love Brad, but everyone still loves you. He couldn't have been like nicer, and he hung around like 3 hours after the show in our little after party.
Everybody does love Ray Romano. Like
yeah.
I do. I love Ray Romano, but everybody loves Brad too.
Oh no, Brad's very well beloved. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the new place is in the MGM, but which is it where like all the shops are?
Yeah,
Is that where it's at?
yeah. It's up in the
okay.
upper right.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Good guy.
what is that, like 300 seater, like the other one?
I
or-
have not been to it.
Oh, this
but I
is the
heard
new one?
That's the
Oh,
new
that-
one.
No,
that looks great.
Yeah, this is what's on their site.
That's great. That was perfect classic comedy club shape. Now let me ask you this: Are you
great
allowed to work anywhere you want? Like, can you go to another place and do a guest spot, or do you have
I
an
think for a
exclusive
guest spot,
deal?
I'm okay. You know, they have that stupid
Yeah.
law, whatever. Like, what's it?
Your
TMZ. What's it called? The whatever that stands for. The miles.
TMZ?
TMZ stands for something miles zone. So you can't perform. You probably know this. Like
10-mile zone.
10 mile zone or something, right? So, if I just wanted to walk, I could go over to Brad's and do a little thing, which probably would be the best thing for me to do.
So, like, you could do a show in Reno if you wanted to. Right.
Yeah. There's just like I couldn't do one like somewhere else in Vegas probably.
I've never worked Reno. Have you ever worked Reno?
Oh yeah. Reno's actually a really fun. Just
Relaxed.
Just blue collar, fun, rowdy, drunk crowds.
Yeah?
We have really good shows in Reno. In fact, one time we were talking about shooting a special or something. I thought Reno would be a good spot because
It's not a bad spot.
It's so different than Vegas because Vegas is so uptight, and Reno is like a little more loose.
I was just
locals.
watching a video. See if you can find this online from I want to say it was like the early 1900s. Jack Johnson defended his heavyweight title. I think it was against Jim Jeffries, and it was in Reno. And I was watching this
1890?
video. No, 1900s. Early 1900s.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when we started comedy.
A little bit later. We started a little bit later. But
Feels
it was
like in 1900s.
It was wild because they built an arena, an outdoor arena
Just
in
for that fight?
Reno for this fight.
Oh, wow.
It was 110 degrees outside, and they had a 45-round fight.
Oh,
1910.
Jesus.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild. But here's what's wild. Look at all these guys with hats.
Yeah.
Everybody wore hats.
Everybody did.
Everyone.
Everyone had a
First
hat.
of all, it's all men. If you look around, you don't see any women. It's all men with hats.
It's weird.
How weird is this? This is 1910 in Reno, Nevada. And everyone had a fucking hat. And
They
they
all
came in
had a
from
hat.
miles around to watch Jack Johnson fight Jim Jeffries. Jim Jeffries, he went to training camp for 6 months for this fight because he had taken many years off of fighting and he had ballooned up to over 300 pounds. And he lost 100 pounds to get down
Wilford
to
Brimley was
fighting
there,
weight.
too.
No,
So-
that's
it's
John
Wilford
L.
Brimley.
Sullivan, you son of a bitch. How dare you?
It's Wilford Brimley.
And so he lost 100 pounds to get down to weight. And it took
Wow.
him 6 months to do so. That's him right there.
that's
So
right
that's
there.
him fit and in shape. So he used to be the heavyweight champ, and he was a real stud back in the day. But, by this time, he was like 37 years old.
Is
and
he
had
still
not-
fighting?
No, he's doing commentary now. He had taken 6 whole years off of fighting and lost a ton of weight.
Wow.
And
Did he
got
win?
in shape.
Did he-
No,
no,
no.
okay,
Jack
yeah,
Johnson
yeah,
fucked
yeah,
him
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
Johnson was the man back
So
then.
my question is, since you brought that up, look at that, the sea of hats. So my question
of
is,
hats?
see,
What
what
are
makes
those
me,
hats?
what comes to my brain is when and why do we don't wear that hat anymore? Why don't we wear hats anymore?
It's a good question because back then, if you had a hat business, you're like, bro,
Dude,
I'm fucking
you know
killing
what I'm
it.
saying? But
Everyone's
it's just so
always
weird
gonna
now.
have
You're
hats.
like, what's with the hats? Like, when did we just go, we don't have hats anymore?
Those hats are the blockbuster
Yeah, those are-
video
yeah,
of
now-
headwear.
yeah.
It's like they just went away.
Yeah, it's so
So,
bizarre.
like they probably back then couldn't imagine a world where men didn't wear hats.
hats.
Yeah, they all wore
They had
hats.
jackets and coats and hats.
And they were saying in the video
ties.
when I was watching it that front row tickets were going for over $100. $100
Back
a
then was a
ticket
lot,
back then.
then.
Like, what is? Okay, just Google that. What was $100 in 1910 and 2022 money? I'm gonna say. Let's take a guess. I'm gonna say $3,000.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe
$3,000.
That's for
what I think.
$100 equivalent.
Yeah,
Then?
I want to say it's $3,000. What is it, Jamie?
$29.25.
Pretty.
See, I was gonna say
fucking good.
$29.95, and
You
I went
should've.
with 3.
You would have looked smarter. But I mean, $3,000.
By the way,
for
that was
front row
a good.
ticket.
That was a
Not a
pretty
bad guess.
phenomenal guess.
Pretty good guess.
You're off like
Pretty good
$4.
Yeah. Well, they estimated something at the time the video was made. They said it was like $1,000, but at the time the video was made, where it was, I think it was Jim Jacobs was doing the commentary for the video, and I think that was in the 80s that he was doing that.
Yeah.
So I just put it forward,
Right.
and so it's probably about $3,000.
That's a pretty good guess.
Fucking inflation. That's the
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
Nothing's worth anything
Shit,
anymore.
No.
It's crazy. I was reading that they print the amount of money that they print every day because of like COVID and the economy's crashing and all that shit. It's some staggering amount every second. Like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, that we print every
and
day?
$100 bills are printed every second.
Not crazy.
They're just throwing money.
I know.
Do you understand the economy, or do you just know how much you get paid?
Nice.
Here it is.
A little bit of the
I don't know it.
I know a little
okay.
bit. How much I get paid? I do. Yeah.
How much money is printed each day? The Bureau of Engraving and Printing produces 38 million notes a day with a face
Really?
value of approximately $541 million.
All right. So my question to you is, how long has this been going on?
I don't know.
Well, you know what I mean. So it's not
Yeah.
now. I mean, we've always been overprinting money. I'm assuming, right? We just all of a sudden just now like we're going to start doing this shit.
Isn't it
So-
funny how important that is and how little most of us know about how it all works?
Yeah. I just go, yeah, my paycheck.
Yeah.
Can I pay my bills?
Yeah, you know,
Buy
like you
me a beer?
negotiate a certain amount,
Yeah.
you get the check, and
Yeah.
you can pay your rent and all that jazz. Yeah.
I really don't go, holy shit, yeah.
But if you did sit around and think about it, I've had people explain it to me, explain like finances to me and explain the economy to me, and it's mind-bogglingly
That's why I'm
complicated.
a comedian. I don't know that stuff. I never, seriously.
Yeah.
I
think
can
if you-
have someone sit right now and explain the economy. Oh, there was a couple guys in your podcast that were explaining that.
They're not funny, though.
No.
You talk to guys who explain the economy.
Yeah,
like,
you're like, they're a hoot.
Well,
You
no-
should hang out with them. They're fun.
they're about as funny as coroners.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're both equally solemn because they're just like, oh, this is over
Yeah,
soon.
what we do here.
Yeah.
That's my Gene Simmons doing it.
This is Gene Simmons.
That's a good
You don't
Gene
even
Simmons.
know how to do Gene Simmons
I
Carrot
don't know how to
Top.
do Genes. You're right. I don't. Now that you're doing it right,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Well,
I
was,
suck at I can't do impressions.
I can't do very many impressions, but I can
did
do a few.
Like Clinton, I can do. You know, I mean,
Everybody can do Clinton.
Everybody can.
That's easy.
Huge. That's all I can do. Though.
Yeah.
Just that word, huge.
There's a guy who does Trump, and if you close your eyes,
You're like fucking
it's
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Trump's a good one because he's got so many
He's- yeah,
mannerisms.
so many. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So many. I do a bit in the show.
Amazing.
I do a bit in the show where I go. One thing I liked about when he would do speeches and stuff, he would always announce people in the audience that were out there. It
Yeah.
always gets. It's always an interesting reaction when people
Yeah.
like it. Or not. I said, "Do you remember him going like, Sally? Where's Sally? Where's Sally? Great lady. Where's Sally at?
Yeah, and he points out to her.
Jimbo.
Yeah.
Great
Yes.
guy.
He knows how
then
to
you
work
do
a
the double
crowd.
cup. But yeah, but it's interesting how crowds. Some nights they laugh, some nights they just go. They do that. They kind of like, are we allowed to laugh at this? Like, no
Right.
one knows what to do anymore.
Yeah.
You can laugh. It's okay. It's just,
Do you pay attention to politics at all, or just for jokes?
mostly just joke. I mean, I try to stay in tune in a sense. I mean, I watch news and I try to stay on top of it. Yeah, but mostly for material. I try not to get too crazy into it because
It's
no
not
one
good
cares.
for your head.
Well, yeah, no one really. When they come to my show, they're not expecting me. They want to see a walker
Yeah.
with a dildo on it. And they want to see
Right.
You got to see them.
They care, but they just don't care at that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like I want to hear you talk about yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine line. Like people who just do political commentary or political comedy, rather, it's like, oof.
Well, yeah, like you go see yeah. I mean, even although Bill Maher, going back to Bill, I saw the special he did. God damn, that was an hour of. It was pretty fucking funny.
His last special?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, it was
A lot of politics talk.
It was all politics.
Yeah.
But it was well done. And what's his name too? The Black, Lewis Black.
Lewis Black, yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
When he starts going on in that about the scientist thing when he goes, people, we pay these millions of dollars for people to do one thing, then research and development or whatever. And I hope I'm doing it better, Lewis Black. And he says, and they get the thing, and they get the information, and they get it all together, and they gather up, and they give it to us. And then we get it, and we go, I'm not buying it. That's their only job. This is what they do, is they get their information, and they give it to us. Lewis Black's brilliant. I saw him way before, literally, in a comedy club in Vegas before he blew up. And I'm sitting in the back of the room losing my mind. I'm like, this guy's brilliant.
Yeah.
And there was like 20 people in there. And then he started doing his specials and doing the thing on Comedy Central, Jon Stewart with the Back in Black with him. And I remember thinking, I was that night going, why is he not
Huge.
on right?
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Well, he is now. I mean, it's one of those things.
Yeah, no, he's there's so many comics like that. You just like,
Yeah.
There's just, which is great again about styles. It's fun to watch different styles, like Jack Black, Lewis Black, or
Do you ever go to a show? Do you ever like go and sit down and watch a comedy show?
Oh yeah. I used to more than now. When I lived in L.A., I'd always go back and sit in the back of the room and watch.
Well, when you're doing
comics.
your show 6 nights a week,
Yeah, it's
how do
kinda-
you
yeah,
have
it's
time
hard.
for anything? Like,
But
what,
that's just it. It's
what
hard.
time does your show start?
It starts at 8.
Oh, okay. So
It's
yeah,
done
you're right in the
by
middle of
8:05,
everything.
and then thank you.
Tight 5, and then Dennis Miller accuses you going long. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to
It
do
is.
anything
That's the
else.
hard thing. And people always say, "You been to shows?" I said, "No, and I when I get one night off, it's like one. It's a Sunday. Is there is going to be a show that I can go to? So
Yeah. Do you experience Vegas nightlife? Do you like people that live in Vegas never go to the Strip, right?
I don't normally.
Unless you want to. You're a silly.
I don't
goose.
normally.
Unless you want to go to.
This show causes me to drink and smoke more than
This show?
Yeah.
You get nervous?
This show. No, I'm having
Getting
a great
crazy?
time.
Yeah. But like my friends that live in Vegas, they never go to the Strip unless they want to go to a restaurant or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's tough though. But I mean, if there's something like last comic, I think I went and saw Chris Rock, and I went to the whole 9 yards, waited in line, turned to my cell phone, been a baggie and all that, but
Where was that at?
it was at the good question. And I've known Chris for funny fucking guy. That guy is right.
One of the greats.
I always used to give him grief because, again, I've been lucky with certain comics that you think would not like me that actually do like me. So Chris was always a big fan. And I said, what's great about you? You tell every joke twice. So really, an hour special is a half hour because he always says, these people are right. People are crazy. And then he'd say, people are fucking crazy. He would say the same line. So I said, really, you only have a half hour if you take them. And he would go, he's like, yeah, thanks, Scott. But no, it was a great show. And I remember watching it, just thinking, He's a true pro, like fucking the writing and the delivery and just everything. Just like from the beginning to the end, it's like fucking great.
Yeah, he takes a very different professional approach. You know, he has guys he works with where he pays them to watch his set, and then they go over the material afterwards.
Yeah,
and
I've
they
never
talk
done
about
that. I should do that.
Brilliant.
I should do that.
It's a smart idea because like he has access to all these brilliant comedian minds, and then they'll say when you're doing that, here's what I thought,
right?
And they'll like take into consideration. So it's like you're putting together a show.
Sure.
Like if you were putting together like a sitcom, you would have a bunch of writers and you'd sit around and spitball. And so he'll do his stuff, and then he'll have like a couple of guys will come. Well, he used to do that when he was preparing for like the Oscars.
Right.
Come to the Comedy Store, and he would bring a couple of guys to watch him, and then they would go over the material afterwards and try to tighten it up. And it's good to have different ideas.
No, it is great. That's probably why it works so well.
It's also because he's putting that much more time into it. Like sometimes it's just a matter of like how much more time are you putting into the material. Because so many comics they get their act and then they just fuck off for the whole day and then they look at their notes briefly before they go on stage and then they go up. But if you're working on it like that, where you have like a group of guys and you're saying, hey, that bit about the pot and the kettle and all that jazz, and write that, and what about the bit about the parking ramp and you'll just go over the material and just that much more focus, that much more time. He's a guy who I think Chris took like 10 years off of stand-up. I think he took a long.
He did take a break. He did take a break.
He was doing a lot of movies. He was still working, movies and stuff, but he took a long ass time from stand-up.
Yeah. And I think that's probably just shows you how great he is because he can take that much time off and come right back and be just as sharp.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it took him
I feel like that with a week, and I'm not making this up, like a week off, whatever, but like if one time I ever had 2 weeks off when we went to London, it's always a week, but I come back from a week, I'm like, oh shit, like I kind of get a little...
Right.
But it comes right back, but it's usually it's always the second show I fuck up. I come back and I nail the first one, and the second night I'm like,
you're cocky. Second one you're cocky.
But you think you already did the one, that should be fine.
Well, the first one you're nervous, so you're like,
right, and then you settle in, and you're like, oh, and then you fuck it up. But
the second one you get a little.
But I like writing. I like because people say, when do you put in a joke? I'm like, any second you think of it, you do it, right? I don't sit down and I'm not a sit down write guy. Like, so
what do? You just like come up with an idea during the day and then jot it down?
Or at night, right? But friends of ours like Tom Green, I will call him. He's like, what are you doing? Or even his Instagram, he's like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write some jokes for a couple hours, and I'm like, wow. In my 30-some, I've never sat down with a pad of paper and a thing and said, let's write some jokes. And just never. I'll just be on a plane and go, you gotta actively keep your mask up while you're eating a drink. Something.
Right.
And then I'll jot. And then that night I'll do it. And then if it works, it works. Doesn't work.
Do you refine stuff, or do you feel like?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But it's always raw, and then it turns into like a whole. Then my crew, because I work, but my crew say, wow, that bit's really coming together nicely, but it takes a few times to work it out. Like I still don't sit down and write it out. Like Larry Miller used to write commas.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah, dashes and commas. And,
yeah.
I was in chairman of the board. I was in a movie with him, and he gave me some great advice. It's funny, where he's such a funny guy, and I had been filming a couple of days, and he was the main guy in the movies, like the bad guy that's taking over the company, and I'm doing the scene with him, and I'm used to working theaters, so I'm doing everything big, but when you're in a movie, it's this, not this, right? So right. I don't know this. I've never been in a fucking movie. I think I'm nailing it. So we go to the dailies in the trailer, and they start watching the dailies, and there's one scene where Larry Miller literally just goes like that. Just his eyebrows went up, and he went, and everybody fucking lost their shit, right? And I said, and I looked back, and I said, I did all. No one not only laughed or did any reaction to any of my scenes, but that one fucking scene. So I said, why was that? And he said, I'm going to give you some advice. He says, you're used to working theaters, and back then I was doing all these big theaters, and he said, you're in a movie, it's got to be so small, work small. And it was weird. That day after I did that, I started doing little things as opposed to big things, and it was amazing how different he made it for me. But that first couple of days, I think they don't know if they even used any of that footage. It was so bad.
Was that the first movie you did?
Yeah, ever. And
Ever.
and a star in it. It's like,
And have you
okay.
ever done any since?
I did. Yeah, I've done some smaller parts. I didn't have a main role. I did. I just was telling people yesterday I was on a Betty White, and I did a Dennis the Menace movie, and I was telling the crowd the night. I said, I had the pleasure. But it's funny about comedy too. No matter what you say, they all think it's a joke. And even if you say, the night my dad died, I came and said, this is a weird night. My father passed away today, so it was just kind of an emotional night, and everybody laughed. And I remember coming off stage, I was like, what the fuck? Why do they think that's funny though? Like, I think anything you say, or maybe it's just because it's me. Right. They don't. So the other night on stage, I said, Betty White passed away, and everybody was like, oh, and they clapped. And I said, Betty White and I did a film together, Dennis the Menace, and they all, didn't believe it, kind of thing. I'm like, no, I did. And then I told the story. I was on the Tonight Show, and Betty White was on the show with me, and this is maybe 6, 7 years ago. And she was getting her makeup put on, and I walked in and I said, "Hi, Betty. I don't want to bother you. I just wanted to say hi." And she goes, "Oh, hi," and she says, Are you? I said, "I'm on the show with you tonight. I just wanted to say hi." And she goes, "Oh, what do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a singer. I'm a rapper or something. I made something up." And she goes, "Oh, I can't wait to see you." Right? I said, "Do you remember working on a movie with me?" And she said, "Oh, I feel so bad. I'm sorry, I don't." And I said, "Oh, well, we did a movie with Dennis the Menace. It was you and Don Rickles and me and a whole bunch of people." And she goes, "There was a movie about Dennis the Menace." I said,
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Yeah, you were in. I were in it, but it was really cute because she didn't know not only who I was, didn't remember filming with me.
But you know how many movies she must have done?
I know, and that's why I said, okay, well, but it was sweet, but she didn't know there was a movie Dennis the Menace.
That's kind of funny.
Now Rickles is better. This is great. So,
you met Rickles?
Oh wait, no, I was in the movie with him.
That's right.
So there's two Rickles things, real quickly. So I'm doing the Dennis the Menace, and there's a scene where I don't know. I'm dressed like an Indian. I was all these. It was Bill Murray's brother, Brian Doyle Murray, and me. And I'm doing like this. Every scene, I'm a different character. I was like a Indian. I was an old guy, and all these makeup things. So most of the time, I'd spend in the makeup trailer. So there's a scene where I'm an Indian guy, like, we got to figure out, because we're trying to trick this Don Rickles that I'm, whatever, had this route that we're trying to sell. And so anyway, I did the scene cut, and something didn't work. The machine or something I was supposed to hold up didn't work. So I said, "Fuck, that was a great scene too." I was like, "Fuck, that was a great take." And Rickles comes over to me and says, "Come here a second." I said, "What?" And he walked me out, and he said, "Don't ever curse on a movie set." And I said, "I'm sorry." And he says, I love you, and you're a good kid. Just never curse on a." And I said, "That's great advice." It slipped me.
Cut to next scene.
We cut to we go to no, it's literally no. We go to the thing, and we next scene, and he's ad-libbing with the entire crew, but he's saying, "Oh, we got the Mexican here. Yeah, the hubcaps are gone on my car. There's the black guy. Hold your wallet." He was doing all this like racial bad. Like worse than me saying "fuck"
right
in front of, and I remember thinking, this is amazing. Like I got in trouble for saying "fuck."
But so he was serious.
He was, yeah.
I thought he was going to do the next scene and start swearing like crazy.
No, he never, no. And then I saw him years ago, right before he died, literally, which is going to be weird again. There's like that, what do you call that, Kevin Bacon separation thing.
Yeah.
I'm in some restaurant in L.A. All the to-dos are there. I mean, literally, it's like guy from Motley Crue's there, Nikki Sixx, Larry King. Mrs. Brady, like, is the weirdest people in there, right? I'm having dinner, and my agent says to me, I'm having dinner with him, and he says, "You should go say hi to Don Rickles." And I said, "Fuck, where's Don?" He says, "Right over there." And I said, it was like 10 people. Oh, God damn it. I'm kind of believe it or not, in person, I'm kind of a shy. I don't want to walk in front of fucking 10 people in there. Everyone's approaching him all night, probably. So I said, Don, hey Don, Carrot Top, and he looks at me. He goes, really? And I said, yeah. He says, like I didn't see you coming from from Van Nuys. And I said, yeah, I don't want to bother you. He goes, well, that's too late. You've already bothered me. Now what? And I said, I just wanted to say, do you remember working in the movie with me? And he says, I've tried to forget everything we've ever done together. Seriously, like not even missing a beat. I've tried to forget everything we've ever done together. Now this, and I go, I'm sorry. Have a good night. Well, it's too late now. You've already ruined my dinner, my appetite. Everyone say hi to Carrot Top, and they'll go hi, and he's like, no. And I tried to buy his dinner, but the other guy said, no, I insist you can't. But
did you ever see the video of him and Frank Sinatra on Johnny Carson
when he said the
one about talking about the dinner?
yeah. When I come over and say hi.
See if you can find that.
Like, it's classic.
It's classic.
It's classic.
Don Rickles. Where Sinatra he was eating dinner and Don Rickles came over and let's see if we can find the video because it's very funny. It's Frank Sinatra. Give him some volume.
Thought this afternoon. When you're in a romantic mood and you're trying to make out, whose records do you put on?
That's funny. What music do you put on?
Look at the way he dressed back then. Jesus Christ. Look at that outfit.
I've spent a lot of nice evenings listening to your music, and I just wonder who Frank listens to.
Oh, I play Jerry Fail or some of those.
Interesting concept.
Yes, it is. But I can answer that by telling you that in those lovely moments, I play Daphnis and Chloe, or the Sunken Cathedral, the Engulfed Cathedral, all that kind of classy jazz.
High-class
I don't
stuff,
fool around with all that other stuff. Because...
Hey, look, I know you're going to do another number with the band because I know you got a recording session tonight, and really, on behalf...
just the way he would look at everything. Look how funny he is.
Look at him. Yeah, he's just right. Genius, right?
Oh,
well, but all genius, right?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, timing. It's timing.
Look at that.
Just even look at his face. Look at him.
Look at him. Yeah.
Why don't you guys get with the band?
Why don't you guys get with the band?
Hey, Frank, it's good to see you. I just was hanging around in the hall, and they said Frank Sinatra's here, and I've never met him, you know. And I get the chills.
You'll excuse us, won't you?
Certainly.
Marco Mangananzo was hurt.
Marco Mangananzo.
Trombino Bombazzo. 2 bullets in the head Thursday.
It was like an inside joke that Frank Sinatra was connected to the mob. Not so inside either. Everybody knew it.
Right. Johnny, you're from the Midwest. You're busy going.
Look at their boots.
Truck loaded?
Is the truck loaded?
Look at their boots.
Guido says hi. He hasn't had a chance to talk to you. And from Jersey City, your good friend, Bubani Umbazzo.
What's his alias?
What's his alias?
He started his car with your album on, and now he's a highway.
Oh, that's funny.
But I tell you, I'm a Jew and you're an Italian. And here we have what? And this is a great Irishman. This is America.
Yes.
Look how they use microphones,
right? Yeah.
You see it hanging into the frame.
For 14 years, Johnny Carson kept saying, do you really know Frank? And I want you to know, Frank, I worship you and I love you. I really mean this. Because since I'm a kid, I used to blow in girls' ears and hear you go, la-da-da-dee, and do it my way. I need a girl so bad. I love my wife, but she's ill.
I love my wife, but she's ill.
I just can't picture him on the wedding night standing in the room
Different
going,
world back then.
Right.
And did it all
Yeah, the microphone.
and I suppose it's my way. And Barbara, his wife, is going, Frank, when you get a minute. God bless you. He just got married. Hey, all the good things. This is the most exciting night in the years that I've known Johnny Carson. He started me on this show. This is the most exciting night, and so help me. It's a great night. He was even nervous because he came to me and said, and I said, you are a powerhouse, and Frank, I love you.
Just right on the lips.
Again,
Jesus Christ.
He's like, get off me.
Did I? I tell a
1976.
story about what this man
Here
did
it
to
is.
me
Here's the
once.
story.
You may have heard about this. It was a true story. This is a long time ago, long before Don got married. I was eating dinner in a restaurant in New York, and I was sitting with some friends, and he came over to the table, and he said, "Frank, do me a favor, will you?" He said, "I'm sitting with a very pretty girl, and I'm trying to make out, you know." And he said, "I told her I know you, and she really doesn't believe me. Would you stop by the table?" I said, "All right." I was just about finished. I was down to the espresso, and finally he went back, and I walked by the table, and I said, "How are you, Don? Nice to see you." He said, "Can't you see I'm eating, Frank? What are you doing?" And I went for the whole thing. I stood with my mouth open.
How great is that?
It's pretty great, but the YouTube fucks it up with those big screens in the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
Like, you
But
can
how
watch
great is
this
that?
or you can watch that. Or
Yeah. Do you know the Billy Crystal one?
Which one?
It's pretty great.
Another one with Don Rickles?
No. So Billy Crystal, and I'm going to mess this up. Billy Crystal, by the way, I was kind of, I didn't grow up with Billy Crystal, and I didn't really, and I went and saw him in Broadway when he did that 48 Sundays or 52 Sunday with his father, or whatever it's called, 54 Sundays. It's if you've never.
What was it?
Well, it was a one on Broadway, but it was the most remarkable thing I've ever sat through in my life. I mean, you laugh, you cry, and then you're laughing again, and then you're crying really hard, and then he couldn't have been nicer, and took a picture of me after on the set, and anyway, huge Billy Crystal fan. So anyway, I go back and I watch one of his, very similar to that. So he said Red Fox was going to play in Las Vegas, and so he flew from L.A. to Vegas just to see Red Fox. It was like at midnight at the, whatever, Stardust or whatever hotel was at the time. And of course, he'd tell the story better, but he says, so I get on the plane, I go there, I look and I say, oh shit, it's at midnight, so I got to set my alarm and take a nap. So he sets his alarm for like 11:30, gets up, goes down, gets dressed, goes down to the club, walks into the comedy club where Red Fox was going to play, and there's like 4 people. And so Billy's looking around, he's like, wow, this is going to be weird. And they said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Red Fox. And they play the dun-dun-dun, 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 right, the music from the thing. And he walks up and grabs the mic and he goes, fuck this shit. And they play dun-dun-dun. They walk him out. And he's like, I flew all the way. Yeah, it's great. Billy, of course, does it way better. But how great is that? He walked, fuck this shit, and threw the mic down. And he was like, well, I flew all the way here and took a nap. And,
I get it from Red Fox's perspective, but fuck.
Wasn't in a breeze.
Can you imagine having the opportunity to see Red Fox live?
I think that's why Billy he did that.
Yeah,
he
no
was like,
one's
I gotta
there.
go watch. I gotta go watch this.
That's the days before social media. You couldn't get anybody to come see a show. Like, they didn't know they were going to go see a legend.
Right.
But
yeah, funny.
Red Fox had a comedy club in L.A. apparently at one point in time. Yeah, Richard Pryor used to play there, and there's some cassettes that I bought at a truck stop one day.
I love Richard Pryor too, and Red Fox.
There was shows that were recorded at Red Fox's comedy club, and you can get them. They're on YouTube, I believe. Some of them are, at least. And these recordings, they're really interesting because it's not like the most produced recordings.
Right.
You hear glasses clink and you hear ice cubes and stuff, and Richard Pryor is fucking around.
Isn't
and
that great?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. He's riffing and ad-libbing on stage, and just
one of the funniest guys I think we ever had. I mean, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Groundbreaking, right? I mean,
he's certainly an argument as the GOAT. It's hard to say like who's the greatest because you have to always go back to, like, Lenny Bruce started it. If it wasn't for Lenny Bruce, who knows where the art form of stand-up comedy would be today?
Because he broke all the rules. Yep.
He was the first that does comedy the way we do comedy. Like, we just talk about things and say what's on your mind, talk about social issues, but Richard Pryor was the first to talk like personally about himself and make it vulnerable and really funny and really honest. And
there's a scene out of There's a scene out of, and I've been saying this for probably like 2 weeks now when I flew last. My iPad, I'm the worst at technology. I'm an old fuck. I don't know how to download shit. I don't know how to, like, I get on a plane. I don't know how to get on their thing to watch movies. So I have 2 movies on my iPad that I watched 1,000. Well, one is a Queen documentary that I watch, and then there's one Richard Pryor, but it's an old movie, California Suite. And there's a scene you should watch with Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby that from the beginning to the end, it's like
Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby?
No. Sorry, Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor.
Oh, okay.
And the scene is fucking great. Their car breaks down. They got their wives with him, and it's from the beginning to the end. He's like, he slams the hood. And he says, "Didn't the man just say don't slam the hood?" Not a bad Cosby.
It's not good. It's right up there with Eugene Simmons.
Just say not slam the hood. And he says, if you can find I'm telling you, it's like it's brilliant. Not only just the writing of it,
timing.
It's timing and how they fucking. And I think the movie did okay, but I mean, you go back and you watch it, and it's like, God damn, it's funny. But now the keys in the car. Who locked the keys in the car? I know, I didn't put the keys in the car. The guy said to him, now the keys are in the car. Well, how are we gonna get the keys? And it just goes, and then all of a sudden you're driving. There's a big hole in the thing. He's, I'm not paying for the fucking. It's just it's great from there. You think you could find that one? California Suite, Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby.
How long is it?
Not long. Why, you run out of time? You got dinner?
No.
You got dinner plans?
No, just.
I don't know if this is the right.
No, that's
scene.
not the right one. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the highway. Put the highway.
But this is the movie. Wow,
Yeah,
what year was that?
78.
78.
Yeah, highway one. Although every scene they do together is great, but the highway one for some reason makes me laugh because it just starts right from the beginning where it's not too long. It's like 2 minutes.
Oh, fine. Sorry.
It's like 2 minutes long. It's not long, but it's a great. I don't know. You look back and you think, God damn it, how funny they were.
Well, you also have to think, if it's 1978, right? Like, how long have they been doing comedy movies? Like, what was the first comedy movie? Was it like...
Oh, you mean for them?
For anybody.
That's a great question. What was
because
it? Well,
if you
there's
think
been comedy.
Comedy movies, they really... I mean, was it Laurel and Hardy? Was it the Marx Brothers?
Yeah.
What year do you think the Marx Brothers were?
I have all the Marx Brothers tapes. I love the Marx Brothers, yeah.
That's what, 30s?
30s.
Duck Soup is 33.
30s. So
yeah, dang.
that is only like 45 years after the of the earliest.
Yeah, the slapstick with the but yeah.
Buster Keaton, I guess, was probably earlier than that, right?
Yeah.
Buster Keaton was wild because he did all his own stunts.
He was Batman, right? That's Michael Keaton.
No, that's Michael Keaton. You son of a bitch. Buster Keaton.
I have a Michael Keaton story. Want to hear it? It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's what's great about this. Honestly, so this is not a joke. So I go to a U2 concert in Vegas, right? And this everyone, it's a stadium, right? They put all these celebrities in this little fucking pit. So everyone's screaming, and it was like Sigourney Weaver. All these people. It's weird. It's like 20 years ago. Everyone's like, character, right? And I'm saying hi to everybody, and I look next to me, and it's Michael Keaton, and he's not only baffled, but he just doesn't understand who I am, what the fuck, because everyone in Vegas is no idea. So I'm a risk taker, right? We're a young comic, and he looks over at me and he says, "Who the fuck are you?" And I grabbed his shirt and I said, "I'm Batman." And he was not happy. And the guy from REM, Michael Stipe, the lead singer, Michael Stipe, fucking lost his shit. He's like, "God damn it, dude, that was fucking great." So you saw that? I said, I don't think he was happy. Fuck him, man. But I went, "I'm Batman." Well, he set me up perfectly. Who are you? Oh, here we go. All right, this is a funny scene. I think you're going to just watch the beats.
1978.
This is such a great scene.
Well, that's just fine. Unless you're making a pot of tea, I think we're in big trouble.
I didn't build a car.
I actually don't think we can play this whole thing.
Okay.
Because of...
Did you look at the gauge?
We're just waiting to slam the hood.
I looked at the gauge more than I looked at the road. I ran off the road. I did not run off the gauge.
So if you looked at the gauge, it wouldn't have overheated.
I mean, looking at the gauge real good stops it from overheating?
No, but you've got to speak up. You've got to say, "Hey, the gauge says we're overheating." This is not the kind of news that you keep to yourself.
You know, I hate rent-a-cars. Why don't we just leave it here?
At least get to the hood part.
See, I told you, all we need to do is give it a chance.
I hate rental cars.
No. Oh,
Did
God.
the man just
say he didn't slam the hood?
What's the matter with the doors?
Didn't the man say not to slam the hood down? Didn't the man say the doors sometimes lock when you slam the hood down?
Did the man say I would burn my hand?
Let's lock the door. Who's got the keys?
The car's got the keys.
Why didn't you take the keys?
I only went from my seat to the hood. I thought it would be safe. You on this side, stand over there.
What fool closed the window?
That fool closed the windows.
Even with my eyes on the gauge, I saw that fool close the windows.
The air conditioning doesn't work with open windows.
Well, now the car doesn't work with closed windows, does it, fool?
Smile, everybody. We're in Los Angeles.
Different time.
I'm not paying for
Now
this
I wonder
window,
different time. I wonder too, like you said that, like especially with movies and comedy and all that, you have to really they it's like they were best friends.
Yeah.
Like they wasn't even like it was ad libbing. It was perfect. It was just,
Well, it's a different time in about like what's funny and what's not too. Like things were funny. People were more innocent then than they were now.
Well, remember Eddie Murphy's special when he said about Bill Cosby calling it. Remember and
Yes.
saying, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, he's working with the original potty mouth guy.
Well, yeah,
So-
I mean, he's the guy he called. That's who
right,
Eddie Murphy called.
Right, no,
It was,
right. No, he called him. He said,
"Do the
"Did you tell
people
Bill
laugh?
Cosby? Yeah, you tell
Did you
Bill.
get paid?"
You tell Bill
Yeah.
Cosby.
Have a Coke and a smile. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like that's similar to like Don Rickles telling you not to swear.
Yeah, it was really
Well,
weird.
people Bill Cosby was a stickler for that too. People thought that there was like rules that everyone had to observe because at one point in time, if you had to work, you really did have to observe those rules. Like you couldn't swear. You know, and when Don Rickles is telling you this, I mean, he's talking about like life in the 60s, in the 50s, you know?
And I think he really didn't curse. And I thought you were thinking the story was going to go where he went on an F-bomb rage after, but no, he was serious. And then he went on to this whole different thing that was so inappropriate.
Well, it's so weird that like back then, like words, like swear words were so meaningful, that had so much impact.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, today it's just a commonplace thing for someone to say fuck, and most shows have swear words in them.
Yeah,
you know,
especially nowadays, right? Sure, even network television is kind of like
because of cable and because of the internet and Netflix and all that jazz. But back then, if you wanted to work on television, you had to be fucking clean. Like, do you remember in the 80s, like, people would tell you, hey, you got to work clean.
Cruise ship clean, that kind of stuff.
Fuck up your act.
State fairs.
Fuck up your career.
State fairs. Yeah, you had to and I used to do an hour shows in front of state fairs with like kids of all ages.
Yeah.
There was a comedy club way back in the South when I worked. The guy, I thought that was pretty funny. The owner said, or the club owner said to me, I did the first night, and the next night I came in to set up, and he says, you've heard this term, but he says, could you maybe pull the fucks a bit? I said, what do you mean? Pull them, like say, but not say fuck, but don't. I'm not making. I said, what do you mean? Like he's like, just like pull them a little bit, like just saying fuck, just kind of.
The owner's telling you this?
And I remember thinking, how do you pull your fuck? Like it's just
get the fuck out
some
of here.
jokes,
Like that?
yeah. I know. But some jokes you need. That's the whole joke. Where you say fuck, right? You got to say fuck, or it's not funny.
Right. Yeah.
Not every joke needs a fuck, but there's some you got to say
some
fuck.
Yeah. Like you lock your keys in the car.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You can't say.
Why? Didn't the man say not to slam the hood?
Yeah. No, you got to say the word you mean. Yeah. Well, listen, Scott. That was a good time, man. I'm glad we got to meet.
Thank you.
Glad we got to hang out.
Yeah, thanks for listening to all my stupid
It was a lot of fun.
shit. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Good.
It
we
was.
went through 5 bottles of booze.
We had a good time.
A couple cigars, half a joint.
If people want to see you in Vegas, what's the best way they can buy tickets?
You're probably Luxor, I would think, the Luxor, or CarrotTop.com.
Okay, so you can buy tickets.
I think you can buy. I think you can. I've never. I don't know. I think so. But yeah, Luxor every night.
Every night except Sunday.
Every episode. Oh, there we go.
Hey,
every
look
night
at you,
Sunday.
fella.
Look at that.
Your hair changes color sometimes. Like
it does.
sometimes
Well, that's just I put
so
some green and some purple and pink in there for the
CarrotTop.com.
Yeah,
buy Vegas tickets.
There you go.
So 6 nights a week, most weeks.
We take off a little bit here and there, but we're there. We're there for most of the.
And if someone wants to see you when you're on the road, all that schedule's up on Carrot
I'll
Top.
be on there as well. Yeah, we're going to be in a whole bunch of places and coming up.
Okay, so CarrotTop.com, and then Instagram. Are you on Twitter too?
Yep, Twitter. Carrot Top.
I
think they're all Carrot Top.
All right.
I think.
Well, thanks, brother. I
Thank
appreciate
you, buddy.
it, man.
Yeah,
It's very,
man.
very
What
good
a
to meet
pleasure.
you. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Sure.